Chapter 53:24. A single blow can destroy the mighty one who is the innate supreme treasure. If there was no Guzhou, he would be dead. It's faster. One chase and one escape. The distance between the two sides was not very far, and the glare attacked the surface of the ancient boat several times. Fortunately, the speed did not drop, but each attack caused the ancient boat to stop once, which was a waste of time. He is really afraid that the terrifying existence behind him will catch up. The speed of Guzhou is very fast, but the Taoists of the Six Suns can just bite in the rear. The terrifying existence has really come, and I am afraid it will be able to catch up in an instant. The fear in his heart grew more and more, and he now believed that the existence of terror was directed at him. Knowing that the four secret realms were so dangerous, he would not come. It should be transferred in the Senate Palace, or directly returned to the original star. If I went back then, there would not be so many things. Although the golden sword was very important, it was far worse than his receipt in the demon space. The origin of the golden sword, at most let him deduct the power of all things, and then extract some useful kendo origins to enhance the current kendo. It's just a little profit. For this thing, if he falls, he will not be willing to die. At the same time, inside the Patriarch's palace, a line of 10 Sixth-order emperors, as well as densely packed Fifth-order emperors, are ready to go. Now the northern territory Liuzhou has changed dramatically. Since Master True Spirit handed over the northern territory to us, we have to solve it by ourselves now. This is natural. After several Sixth-order emperors discussed, they were divided into 5 teams, with 2 Sixth-order emperors in each team, and the combined strength was enough to be comparable to the best. Although most of them were taken over by surprise at the beginning, according to the nature of the Temple of Discord, few of the strong ones who were taken over were weak. Even if it is not as good as Judian, the two together are almost the same. Those Fifth-order emperors are all at the pinnacle level, each comparable to the ordinary Sixth-order emperors of the 4 secret realms. With such a big battle, the White Tiger Palace came to be embarrassed. I led the first team and sent it to the north of Zhangzhou, and the other teams went to several nearby states. They must suppress the changes and save Jian Wushuang by the way. Yes. Everyone answered in unison, then began to send away. The Yuan Lao Palace has not yet established the position of the palace master, but the appeal of a dozen Sixth-order emperors is still very strong, and soon a large number of powerful people in the Yuan Palace are gathered to the north. Wu Zuo was single-handedly. When he arrived in Hanzhou alone, he went all out. It took a day from the teleportation array in Hanzhou to the Shangqing Palace. No way, only one big city in Hanzhou has a teleportation array. But its own strength is not weak in Liuzhou. There is only one super sect in Hanzhou, and only one big city. After Wu Zuo deity descended, he sat firmly on the pitch-black snake head, several times faster than Jian Wushuang's ancient boat. A super strong just appeared in Hanzhou, and after only a few breaths, he disappeared. This made the Sixth-order emperor of the super sect extremely surprised, and quickly sent a message to the White Tiger Palace and reported the matter. Liuzhou changed and Agni was killed. The White Tiger Palace had known about this for a long time, and this kind of thing was not a major event in the past. Generally, people were sent to investigate and then hunted down without any haste. But this time, they didn't move. The True Spirit had only said that when he left the 4 secret realms the day before yesterday, the northern realm was under the jurisdiction of the Yuan Elder Palace. Before they had time to evacuate the branch halls, shocking changes occurred. Don't say let them go to support now, it's enough to give the True Spirit's face if you don't make trouble. Bai Yi sat firmly at the top of the hall, a cold color leaking through the tiger eyes. A bunch of trash. Although not very willing, he still quietly sent a Dharmakaya to the north. The reason why the White Tiger Palace is very resistant to the creation of the Yuan Lao Palace is not only because of selfishness, but because they were created by the gods. They have no selfishness at all. To manage the 4 secret realms well is the bounden duty of the White Tiger Palace. If the establishment of the Senate Palace can make the 4 secret realms more stable, he will support it more than anyone. But the current 4 secret realms are as simple as what no True Spirit said. He has only recovered for a few days, How can he know what is difficult to do in each of them? Now that I have just made it a bit more stable, the Senator Palace has been established, and the 4 great secret realms have also been obtained. Isn't this not adding to the chaos? The White Tiger Hall is very special among the 4 halls. It is not like the Vermilion Bird Palace, where only a few people can manage the primitive world. There are many treasures, and there are few people. There is no competitiveness at all. The Azure Dragon Palace is even more outrageous. Just a mainland chassis with 2 or 3 big cats and kittens above it, so you don't need to worry about it at all. Their duty is to conquer outside, but in this situation, where should they go to conquer? Xuanwu Temple is even more outrageous. Sitting in 108 outer halls. It is equivalent to 108 higher worlds, in which the space is infinite, the strong are scarce, and there are many treasures. It was originally a relatively ordinary hall. However, the hall master of the Xuanwu Hall, for some unknown reason, recruited Feng Mo, one of the 5 great masters, into his command. Among the 5 major demon masters, the Wind Demon has the most stable personality and is good at refining puppets. In addition, Xian Yi inherited the core power in the Temple of the Gods, 3 major gods, 18 gods, and 108 messengers. The treasures and inheritance were left in the outer hall to Xian Yi. Let him be responsible for spreading it out and don't want to be cut off. But Xuanyi had never given out these treasures at all in these years, and had all taken possession of them alone. With these treasures, 10 nests have been built, and in each nest are puppets. Had it not been for the arrival of the immortal trial, there would not be a living person in the outer hall, all puppets. The strength of these puppets is still very strong, and the weakest are the limits of the Taoist monarch, which can be comparable to the emperor. Some of the strongest puppets, he has also seen a few, and they can all display Tier 6 combat power. Those puppets can be combined with tens of thousands of people, and their power is endless. And Xian Yi, the puppet legion that controls the entire 10 worlds, with such a huge power, in the Temple of Qishan, he is the most comfortable one, and he dares to break the wrist with the true spirit. Among the 4 halls, the most aggrieved one is their White Tiger Hall. It is said that they are in control of the 4 secret realms, rather than the 4 secret realms firmly grasping them. When the White Tiger Palace was first established, there were only 9 people. In addition to him, there are 8 messengers. The remaining guardian gods cannot be regarded as humans at all. At first, I said that I was staying to help them take care of the 4 secret realms, but in the end I followed a statue, which was very old-fashioned and couldn't adapt at all. Please help me. Mimi Reading App can steal book tickets like stealing food. Come steal the book tickets of your friends and vote for me. Fortunately, he kept wooing the casual cultivators of the 4 great secret realms and let them settle in the White Tiger Palace. The Senate Palace was established, and he had a kick in the 4 secret realms. He didn't have a problem, because he was afraid that the group of people would have opinions. It is these people who control the 4 secret realms. Without those hall masters of the subtemples, they control the vast secret realm. Chapter 53-25. The heavens are okay, like the wild ancient land, like the secret realm of the earth. They drink blood and fight in chaos, and they can't be suppressed if there are fewer people. In the realm, the earth temple they set up has recruited even mortals, but it still can't effectively suppress them, and they fight every day. As long as there are extra powerful people in the heavens, they will be sent to the earth, but over time these people will have opinions. They are not puppets. Leave it to his mercy. There are no less powerful people in the earth realm than in the heavens, and those who go to the earth realm have a great chance of falling, and slowly, not many people dare to go. In the land boundary, it is difficult to recruit enough strong people. He even recruited a lot of the special lives in the Tomb of the Gods and sent them to the realm. Although these special lives are very cruel, they can at least listen to him and help him suppress those strong in the realm. There are huge secrets hidden in the realm. His deity sits in the realm all the time, and there are only 2 Dharmakayas in the celestial realm. The rest of the combat power was thrown into the land boundary and the Tomb of the Gods by him. Really considered stable, it is the mortal world's secret realm. There is nothing to suppress there, only some local powerhouses, and setting up the White Tiger Hall to command it is enough. Bai Yi's law body, through the teleportation array, went directly to Bai Muzhangzhou. He will not show up easily this time. If he is a last resort, he will come forward. If the Senate Palace can make it up by itself, that would be great. It's just that in the past few years in the north, the teleportation array and the treasures offered can be said to be astronomical. He wanted to let go of such a piece of fat, and those subordinates would not easily leave. There is also the huge expenditure of the land boundary, which requires the treasures of the heavens, and the price of recruiting the strong is too high. Moreover, among the native emperors, it is very difficult for the emperor who is against the sky to appear, and the scenes of ordinary strength are unstoppable. The strength of Venerable Blazing Fire is actually quite good. He is one of the best in Liuzhou, but he was killed instantly. This shows the difference. Now he is going to invite a powerful emperor to be born, and he can't leave it to the palace of the elders. This time he specially sent to Zhangzhou, North Head, just for this matter. Guangmu. In ancient times, he was called the Tianzuan. This is the real top emperor. Can be listed as 108 divine envoys, representing the characters of the gods. Among the sixth-order emperors, those are extremely heaven-defying existences. The North Head is Zhangzhou. When he was moved into the temple of Qixin, Zheng's was a huge mountain range, full of hundreds of thousands of mountains, endless, and there was still a turbid air current in the mountain, and the ordinary people would quickly lose their way when they entered it. Only the strong who become immortals can live in it. Therefore, there are very few strong people living in Zhangzhou, and there are only 2 or 3 big cats and kittens in the sect, and even a decent strong person has never been out. All this is actually due to the existence of Guangmu Tianzuan. The threshold of the chaotic airflow he left in Zhangzhou is too high, and there is no commonplace. Most of the strong people living here are strong from outside, who have come to take refuge here. As for survival here, it is impossible. And the place where he lives is in the depths of the air current. In the depths of Zhangzhou, on a lofty sacred mountain, there is an ancient hall. This is the dojo of Guangmu Tianzun. Here, the airflow is very thin, and it is clearly visible in the hall without any muddy air. Bai Yi fell precariously. This Dharmakaya did not fight the battle, the ordinary white robe he wore, but the tall and straight body was not so beautiful, but very strong. Let me tell you that the book reading app I'm using recently, Mimyriad app, has a lot of sources, a full range of books, and fast updates. Brother Guangmu, don't you welcome me so? Bai Yi leaked a smile, looking at the closed hall. Click. The main hall slowly opened, and a burly man who was running dark gold walked out of it. His eyes were sunken, his nose was high, and his jaw was wide. Bai Yi. After the two looked at each other, each showed a strong momentum. Guangmu Tianzuan was slightly surprised and said, "You don't think that you can defeat me with a Dharma body?" "Ha, Brother Guangmu is too admirable, and am not here to talk to you." Bai Yi smiled awkwardly. His Dharmakaya is really not a wide-eyed opponent. After all, the opponent is one of the 108 divine envoys. If you want to be so unbearable, wouldn't it be a shame for the owner to take it out? Before the fall of the gods, he specifically explained to a few of them that they must be treated kindly to these old men who have not fallen. They must not be suppressed or forced. If they leave, let them go at any time. There were indeed some people who were afraid of death and escaped a catastrophe, such as Wu Zua. But Guangmu Tianzuan was different. He fell asleep in Zhangzhou after being injured and didn't participate later. When he woke up, the gods fell. He didn't want to go, and he didn't want to wait for the arrangements of the 4 halls, so he kept hiding in this hall. I don't know how many years have passed. Come in. Guangmu reached out his hand and made a pleased gesture. After all, it was something left by Qixin, and he wouldn't be too much, although he still had the arrogance of the past. The two entered the hall and took their seats. Bai Yi went straight to the point and explained the current situation. The true spirit is revived, the highest trial is opened, and the patriarch's palace is established. As for the surprise change in Liuzhou, it is all trivial, which is not worth mentioning. When Guangmu Tianzuan heard the real spirit resurrecting, he inherited many memories of Qixin. His eyes were a little moist. As the messenger of the gods, The gods fell but did not stay with his old man. These years he has been living in guilt so that he could not leave Zhangzhou. I'm afraid of meeting acquaintances and being laughed at. You know, back then, the 3 major gods of the progeny of the gods have all fallen, and the 18 gods will not be spared. The fallen, and the severely injured and sleeping, have not been able to recover until now. Among the gods, he was spared alone. At the beginning, the gods fell, and the gods were unwilling to live, and all followed the gods to settle in the tomb of the gods and set up their graves. Looking at him again, he is alive now. There is nowhere to die if he wants to die. Bai said the key at first sight, and immediately made a request to come out of the mountain. Brother Guangmu, the highest trial is to find the inheritor for the master. This is the rule set by the master at the time. Now that the trial is opened, it is about to enter the 4 secret realms, but the secret realm is turbulent, which is not suitable for the trial. Practice. Don't look at Bai Yi's impulsiveness at ordinary times. The qi-oriented heart in his body is not fake. He also has the wisdom that Xian Yi has. Hearing the death of the god, Guangmu Tianzuan was really moved. Guangmu was surprised at first. The 4 secret realms are turbulent? Yes. Bai Yi watched a play and quickly continued. As soon as the world has just stabilized today, in Liuzhou, great changes have occurred. The teleportation array has been destroyed, and the main hall of the branch hall represents the facade of the gods. There was a rampage on the spot, as well as the realm. Not long ago, the forest of 10,000 treasury was turbulent and almost destroyed the entire realm. It was resolved by Master True Spirit himself, but it didn't take long before the heaven realm had a problem. With that said, Bai Yi couldn't help but lower his head and began to curse that he was useless, because the things the master entrusted to him back then were not done well. Chapter 53:26. Fleeing, the strongest power began to spread throughout the ancient boat, and the fisherman sitting on the boat stood up directly. Let's go! The voice of the old man with goat horns was deep. Glancing back, taking another look at the people below, Jian Wushuang withdrew his gaze. This place would soon become ruins, and even the entire Liuzhou would be engulfed. Boom! The void shattered, and the power erupting from the ancient boat made the surrounding mountain ranges tremble. When the people below looked up in confusion, the ancient boat was still in place, but Jian Wushuang and the old man with goat horns were actually millions of miles away. This speed had exceeded the limits of space, even challenging the Tier 6 Emperor. It was beyond ordinary comprehension. However, the old man with sheep horns still felt pressure emanating from within the city of Sharuo. The sun and moon shone brightly, 2 huge suns radiating light, spreading from Sharuo city, shaking the entire Liuzhou. Jian Wushuang turned his head to look back. In the dazzling light, there was a small black dot behind them. With a slight movement, his gaze deepened. It's him! That small black dot was none other than the Tier 6 Emperor, manipulating a damaged palace, trailing behind them. Although his speed was slower than theirs, he had not allowed the distance to widen. Jian Wushuang had sensed some intentions from the other party long ago, and now, trailing behind them, it raised suspicions in him. The teleportation array was destroyed, and there was a sudden upheaval in Liuzhou. The hidden secrets were probably related to his arrival and had a connection with that formidable figure from the demonic path. The ancient boat sped quickly. In just the time it took to brew a cup of tea, it had already left the scope of Shangqing Palace. At this moment, Shangqing Palace was fully prepared, with several eternal treasures rising into the air. Who would have thought that just an hour ago, Shangqing Palace was still in a state of peace, with comings and goings. And now they had to flee directly. Venerable Lai Hua had fallen, and Sharuo City had been destroyed. The entire Liuzhou was going to be destroyed in an instant. Is this the ancient era? Indeed, it was brutal. You little devil from the demonic path. Yen Sanmu instantly turned around, and a third eye appeared fiercely on his forehead. Innate beast eye. No wonder he was named Yen Sanmu. Jian Wushuang momentarily looked dazed. In the sky, a giant human-shaped antelope appeared, its horns piercing through the heavens. You go on the ancient boat first, I still need to take someone with me. Yang Sanmu left behind these words. Before he could move, The Avatar had already retreated hundreds of millions of miles. Just a moment ago, Wu's was Avatar shattered, and that Avatar fell in Sharuo City. Through the communication token, he had instructed Yen Sanmu in Shangqing Palace to take away a Dao Lord of the Broly clan. Now, there was no choice but to go back. The ancient boat was entirely manipulated by the fishermen. Even after the old man with the goat horns left, the speed did not diminish. Jian Wushuang had no idea whom the old man with the goat horns was going back to fetch. Before he could inquire, the figure disappeared within the space. He casually took out a jade slip. Damn it! Jian Wushuang couldn't help but curse inwardly. Now, behind him, there were many emperors fleeing, and their speed was not slow. He had already encountered several. With so many people fleeing together, they were bound to be caught up with. Although he didn't know who the terrifying presence that destroyed Liuzhou was, he could sense the unparalleled horror in the opponent's aura. Once encountered, it would be death. The target was too conspicuous. He couldn't escape with this group of people. Understanding this, Jian Wushuang immediately commanded the fishermen, "Go to North Muzhangzhou." Heading north to Hanzhou was close to the border of Liuzhou but also more likely to be caught up. It was better to change direction and go to North Muzhangzhou, where a truly extraordinary powerhouse sat in command. Although not on good terms with the temple, they wouldn't stand by and watch others desecrate North Muzhangzhou. The fishermen standing at the bow of the boat paused for a moment, then, as per Jian Wushuang's instructions, adjusted the direction. It would take at least a whole day to travel from this location to North Muzhangzhou. Taoist Luyang, who was following behind, manipulated the damaged ancient hull. Seeing the slight adjustment in the direction of the ancient boat, his eyes flickered. "Elder, are we not going to Hanzhou?" Zhu Bachi asked cautiously. Luyang nodded slightly and said, "Hanzhou is too close. Even if we go there, it's still fleeing. It's better to go to North Muzhangzhou, where there is the suppression of Guangmu Tianzuan. No one can offend there." Guangmu Tianzuan, a Tier 6 emperor who survived from ancient times, a former one of the 108 divine envoys who followed Qishan. Later, he settled in Qishan Temple but did not get along with the four temples. He had been sitting in his own lair in North Muzhangzhou ever since. "Hee, aren't you very interested in the golden sword? The kid in front has 12 golden swords in his hands." Lu Yang Daoist said with a sinister smile. 12 golden swords. Don't mention a Dao Lord sword cultivator, even a Tier 4 emperor would be envious. Could it be? Zhu Baxia quickly caught on. However, what he knew was only about killing and looting. Just now, when the old man with goat horns left, the two of them paid careful attention. Now, on the ancient boat in front, there was only Jian Wushuang. A Dao Lord, no matter how extraordinary, could he contend with a Tier 5 emperor? Zhu Bachi, being a giant in the demonic path, naturally carried a demonic nature in his temperament. He didn't care about the opponent's identity or background. As a Tier 5 emperor, Taoist Liang valued not the golden swords on Jian Wushuang's body but Jian Wushuang himself. If he could capture Jian Wushuang alive and hand him over to that senior, he might receive substantial rewards and even have the opportunity to advance to the Tier 6 emperor. And that ancient boat. He also coveted its existence, a top-tier spatial treasure. Its speed far exceeded that of an ordinary Tier 6 emperor. Many Tier 5 emperors did not possess such a rare eternal treasure. How could he not covet it? With the shock in Liuzhou, the death of an inheritor would probably go unnoticed. Lu Yang's face revealed a killing intent, and his speed increased once again. The ancient boat's speed was fast, but it was stable. Without the presence of the old goat-horned man, although the speed hadn't changed, it had lost the crucial element of security. Looking back again, the small dot behind had disappeared. Just as Jian Wushuang was about to relax, a dazzling black light suddenly struck. Boom! The dazzling light struck the ancient ship directly, producing a terrifying buzzing sound. Jian Wushuang's ears buzzed and he only reacted after a while. Raising his eyebrows and looking back, Lu Yang's damaged ancient palace had somehow reached in front of him. In just a short while, it threw him behind again and rushed to the front. Although this terrifying attack could not harm him temporarily, his heart power was anxious. Hastily sending a message to the old goat-horned old man, Jian Wushuang found that the identity token had been locked. This crisis was too immense. Jian Wushuang didn't know what to do for a moment. The old goat-horned man had been gone for half a day, and there was still no sign. A bad premonition arose in Jian Wushuang's heart. If Yang Sanmu were to fall, he would be truly finished. The identity token was ineffective again. He could only rely on the aura of the ancient boat, praying that the old goat-horned man could find him. As for the sneak attack by Taoist Luyang, he had to rely on the ancient boat to endure it. Although he had a top-tier innate treasure armor and a body that underwent eternal indestructible 10 refinements, facing a peak tier 5 emperor was a different matter. Chapter 53-27. This caused the group of city lord mansions who were looking after the teleportation formation to almost fall to the ground. The emperor who was sitting here in the temple directly sent the headquarters and was so scared that he did not dare to go out. There are 2 emperors of the 6th order, and there are more than 100 powerful men who can rival the emperors of the 6th order. This force was enough to smooth out several nearby states. Bai and they were hiding well. The emperor of the Yuan Palace didn't notice it at all, and at this time they rushed to Liuzhou, didn't stay here at all, got out of the city, directly rushed towards Liuzhou. Among these people, Guangmu also knew a lot, and he even looted a lot of them personally, and many of them were defeated by his men. Watching these people leave, Bai Yi shook his head. These mindless people, no matter how many people go to Liuzhou now, they can't find Jian Wushuang because they walked out of the direction. Jian Wushuang fled from the southeast towards this big city, obviously looking at the map. It's also close to Hangzhou, but the city of Hangzhou is much farther than this one. And there are no strong people in Hangzhou. The reason why Jian Wushuang fled towards Baimazhangzhou, I'm afraid he also knows the existence of Guangmu Tianzuan here. Bai Yi quickly promoted Jian Wushuang's idea. It is a pity that the strong man in the Yuan Lao Palace has not considered this at all. He can't contact Jian Wushuang now, and can't find Yang Sanmu, so he can only plunge into Liuzhou and search aimlessly. At the same time, outside Shero City, Wu's Dharma body exploded and fell, forming a huge barrier, trapping King White for an entire hour. That barrier consumes at least 3 eternal treasures of power. After the White King broke free, relying on that induction, his figure rose to the sky, turned into a streamer, and headed towards the north head of Zhangzhou. Jian Wushuang is already very close to the north eye of Zhangzhou. If it hadn't been for the Luyang Taoist behind him to keep attacking and stop Guzhou, he would have arrived in Zhangzhou now. Looking at the distance, it will take him at least half an hour to reach Zhangzhou, and then it will take another quarter of an hour to reach the largest city in Zhangzhou, Baimu, and the only city with a teleportation array, Beishan City. Taoist Luyang, you are not afraid that I will tell the people in the White Tiger Hall what happened today. By then, you will have no place to settle in the 4 great secret realms, and you will definitely fall. Jian Wushuang looked at the hall behind him and shouted loudly. If the opponent is not attacking, he can be faster. Just now, he felt a huge threat, as if a beast broke through the cage and was attacking in his direction. He was really afraid that he would be overtaken by that terrorist existence before he reached Beishan City. The old man with horns has not returned. Either he has fallen or is trapped by something. Now he can only rely on himself, keep pulling the banner, first scare the Taoist Luyang, or he won't even be able to sit on the teleportation formation. Now he is alone, no one protects him. How to face this 5th order peak emperor? Taoist Liang stood outside the gate of the main hall with deep eyes, looking at Jian Wushuang, and said frantically, "You stinky boy, do you think the old man was scared? Even if you let the people of the temple chase me down, you have to survive and talk about it." Yang Sanmu has been trapped by him, and now he cannot protect himself. As long as he drags Jian Wushuang, or grabs Jian Wushuang, and dedicate him to the White King, he will be able to obtain countless treasures and be ranked 6th. At that time, I will find a hidden place and hide for hundreds of epochs. Everything has subsided. He is also a 6th order emperor. He really doesn't believe that because of a Taoist monarch, the temple will chase and kill him as 6th order emperor. This account, the temple should be clear. And Jian Wushuang has no news now, Even if he is killed, no one knows that he did it. With sufficient confidence, he didn't believe in Jian Wushuang's style. Seeing that he can't move the other party, Jian Wushuang is not talking nonsense. The only thing he can do now is to pray for the old man to come back, or there is a peak power in Beishan City to answer him. Otherwise, once he stops, Taoist Liang can attack him instantly and capture him alive. If he doesn't stop to take the teleportation array, he has been flying on the ancient boat, and he wants to return to the Zhongzhou Yuanlao Palace, which is estimated to be millions of years. Although Liuzhou is very close to Zhongzhou, according to the distance on the map, he can't reach it within a million years. This doesn't work. If he arrives at Beishan City and the old man with horns has not returned, he can only bite the bullet and continue to escape. Just got this idea. The fisherman at the bow of the boat flickered his eyes, turned his head and said stiffly, "The master has explained that, if necessary, I will block all threats for you." Hearing these words, Jian Wushuang was overjoyed. He didn't expect this unsightly fisherman puppet to have such a magical effect. Then I thought about it. The person behind is the 5th-tier pinnacle, and he immediately asked, "The man chased by the rear, the 5th-tier pinnacle emperor, can you stop it?" "I can resist 10 breaths." The fisherman replied stiffly. Jian Wushuang knew it and immediately said, "Enough." 10 breaths, he had already sat on the teleportation formation and fled to Yuanyang Lake. He swears that the first thing after returning to Yuanyang Lake is to ask Wuzhou to send him back to the primitive world. Never stay in the heavens for another quarter of an hour. This road is simply too scary. When he encounters such a strong person, he can't resist, and can only sit and wait for death. May not be able to escape. This is a very desperate thing. Running with speed and time, he soon arrived at Baimuzhangzhou. Somehow, after entering Baimuzhangzhou, the latent fear in his heart actually weakened a lot. There is still a quarter of an hour, and it will be here soon. Jian Wushuang put away his thoughts and kept his strength at the peak. The Madness and Slayer armor had appeared on his body. Beast God Domain also suddenly exploded in the next moment. A pair of huge wings opened and closed. He is ready to jump into the teleportation array at any time. Liang Taoist behind him is more anxious than him. What is this kid thinking? He wouldn't think that I would dare not move him when entering Beishan City. When Taoist Liang turned his mind, he turned his hand and took out a dark red pill, turned his head to look at Zhubacha and said, "If there is a change later, you can take this pill. With its magic power, you can use the 8-armed demon will stop Jian Wushuang for a moment." Hearing the 8-armed demon, wishing Bacchus' eyes are hot, nodded heavily. The 6-armed demon is already comparable to the 13 great swords. The legendary 8-armed demon is much stronger than the Teia heritage. In the history of the Celestial Demon Gate, the celestial demon body that can display 8 arms can advance to the 6th Order Emperor. He is a Taoist monarch who can barely use the 8-armed demon body. As long as he understands one of them, he can benefit infinitely. https://mobile version reading URL. Chapter 53:28. But when I thought I was facing the sword Wushuang of the heaven-defying Tao Sovereign, I wish Bacha courageous and careful, and after accepting the pill, I began to prepare for the next battle. If there is no accident, Jian Wushuang will not stop. This is the best way. The one behind him can catch up quickly. Although he failed to catch Jian Wushuang alive, he was still able to lead the way and guide him to obtain a lot of treasures. If Jian Wushuang really has anything to rely on and dares to settle down in the city, he will definitely leave it behind. As for the rumors of Guangmu Tianzuan, he also knows 1 or 2, but he shouldn't be so unlucky. Liang Heart Chassis calculated, the existence behind him can be reached in a quarter of an hour, and it is almost a quarter of an hour from Beishan City. There was a gap of 10 breaths in the middle. He only needs to stop Jian Wushuang for 10 breaths to complete the task. In his origin, a golden token was engraved with shadow and trembled. Soon. Jian Wushuang is also coming soon. You can reach Kitayama Castle in no time, and it's a desperate moment. The strength of the fisherman is not clear to him, but he can block the 6 breaths of Taoist Liang, and he wants to come to at least the ordinary 5th Order Emperor level. There is still great hope for a puppet of this level, desperately resisting 10 breaths. The rest is up to his own good fortune. A group of pinnacle powerhouses in the Senate Palace in the southern Zhangzhou area, far away from them countless spaces, happened to pass by Jian Wushuang and others out of their own perception. If Jian Wushuang had gone to Hangzhou, he might still meet, but now it seems unlikely. He can only pray silently, and Guangmu Tianzuan can take action. Rubbing the jade board on the thumb, now I can only rely on it. As long as they are the peak powerhouses who have followed the gods, they should know this board, and as long as they see this board, they should all help. Boom. Without waiting for him to think, a black glare struck again, interrupting his thoughts and causing Guzhou to pause again. Jian Wushuang stabilized his figure, turned his head and looked back. His eyes became extremely sharp. Humph. A fifth-order emperor, as long as he succeeds in the path, his combat power may be able to go straight to the fourth-order emperor. With the strength of his space origin, it won't take long for him to enter the fifth level. With his origin, after becoming a fifth-order emperor, Luyang, a fifth-order emperor, can be killed by flipping his hand. As long as I can leave alive this time, I will avenge this revenge in the future. As long as he can leave alive and file a lawsuit against this attack, the Taoist of the Six Sons will not escape death. Beishan Castle. An ancient city stretches in the mountains, but it is much worse than Sharo City on the power level. Regardless of the fact that there is a fifth-tier emperor sitting in the city, but on the top of the moat, it is a lot behind Shaluo City. After all, it belongs to the barren land, and there are no ordinary people. There are only some emperors and powerful people who take refuge, and Taoists rarely come. Since the strong men of the Yuan Lao Palace left here, the strong men in Beishan City heard about Liuzhou and fled one after another. It's just that most of these people are emperors wanted by the temple, so they dare not go to other big states, so they can only flee toward the depths of Zhangzhou. The control of the temple here is only a teleportation formation, and the rest is ignored. This is also a face for Guangmu Tianzuan. The emperors or Taoists who still dare to stay in the city, most of them are dead pigs who are not afraid of boiling water, and are holding a fluke in their hearts. Liuzhou is shocked, and everyone who escaped went to Hangzhou. And the source of the shocking change in Liuzhou, I don't know what it is now, but I heard that a terrifying existence appeared and killed Venerable Agni. Afterwards, Sharo was rampant in Sharo City, destroying all the teleportation formations in Liuzhou. This is obviously coming with a purpose. As long as you don't go to Liuzhou, don't you dare to come to Baimuzhangzhou to make trouble. Although Baimuzhangzhou is wild and there is no decent powerhouse, the name of Guangmu Tianzuan resounds throughout the Northern Territory, and its strength ranks among the top superpowers in the Northern Territory. No matter how crazy the other party is, they won't come here to find it boring. The current situation is different from what these people think. In the muddy sky, a touch of black ancient boat shuttled. The emperor in the city, when he first saw Guzhou, he didn't react. The next moment Guzhou arrived in front of him. This speed exceeds the limit of space, and it is almost time to touch. Guzhou had just entered Beishan City, and Luyang Taoist followed him. I really stopped here. It seems that this kid really has something to rely on. Taoist Luyang glanced coldly at the city. The city lord is just an ordinary fifth-order emperor, and he doesn't dare to make mistakes before him. The emperor who is stationed here in the temple is only tier 4, even if he is killed, he will hide for hundreds of epochs at most, spend some treasures, and get rid of sin with just a few clicks. When the teleportation formation was still 1,000,000 miles away, Jian Wushuang roared, "It's now, stop him." After leaving these words, his figure flashed directly off the ancient boat, and the 10-linked flesh body broke out completely, turned into countless dark lines, and flew towards the teleportation formation. Thousands of bodies, this is the super quality body. At the limit, his origin and divine body can be cut into countless pieces. Even if the emperor wanted to kill him, it was not that simple. His figure just left Guzhou, the fisherman's figure changed, and he drew a long knife from his back. Facing the Luyang Taoist who came after him, he was not afraid of death. Say 10 breaths, then 10 breaths. The ancient boat was cast in ancient times, and the fisherman was obtained from the wind demon. The strength is comparable to the fifth-order emperor, and he is not afraid of death. At the beginning, the 3 eyes of the sheep brought him, and he was going to be a for the younger generation. Later, in a disaster, he put the fisherman on the ancient boat and completely became a fisherman. Luoyang Taoist saw the fisherman standing in front of him and jumped down from the mutilated hull. Go and stop Jian Wushuang, give me 3 breaths. His voice is very confident. As long as 3 breaths, he will kill the puppet in front of him. In the mutilated hull, the black mist is missing and bursts out of the air. The fisherman wanted to stop, but the 6-armed celestial demon turned into a Taoist priest smashed it open. Below me, the heavenly demon turned into by the Taoists of the 6 suns towered thousands of miles away, shattering the void with 1 punch, and with 6 arms, it threw out tens of thousands of punches in an instant. The fisherman's violent swordsmanship was difficult to resist, but after a few punches, the treasures on his body were shattered. Liang Taoist sneered, and all 3 breaths were long, and 2 breaths were enough. How could a puppet who didn't even have the eternal treasure, and his combat power was weak and pitiful, how could he stop him? At the next moment, the 6-handled demon cone appeared in his hand, shining brightly, with infinite light. It's the 6 suns. Hidden in the city lord's mansion, the city lord of Beishan, who did not dare to come out, saw the battle in the sky, revealing a look of surprise. Liu Yang's combat power is terrifying. Although it is of the same rank, the strength is much worse. He can't stop it when he goes out. He can only appeal and wait for the people from the temple to come. https://mobile version reading URL. Chapter 53:29. At the same time, Jian Wushuang was already outside the teleportation array, yelling while running away. Isn't the inheritor of the Tomb Mountain? I will confess to the White Tiger Temple quickly and come to rescue. Hidden in the dark, Bai Yi and Guangmu Tianzuan looked at each other and laughed secretly. It's this time, still pulling the banner. This inheritor is really afraid of death. When Guangmu was about to say something, when he looked at Jian Wushuang carefully, he found the pale green jade board, and his eyes shrank suddenly. This is... Bai Yi next to also noticed this. The two of them couldn't believe it, especially Bai Yi. How could the personal things of the gods appear here, and they are still in the hands of an inheritor? If he remembers well, this board should have entered the tomb of God with the ambiguity. How would it appear here? Looking at the aura above, the two of them confirmed that it was definitely something of a god. How could he have this thing? Both said at the same time. Guangmu Tianzuan wondered how Jian Wushuang would have it. Could it be a disciple of Qixin? But isn't the highest trial just beginning now? No matter how fast it is, I will never give the personal things of the gods to a Taoist monarch. Bai wondered how this board was born, and it clearly entered the tomb of the gods. Could it be that? He secretly guessed that he thought of the revival of the true spirit and had been to the tomb of the gods several times, and he almost cursed when he thought of this. Are there not enough treasures in the temple of Qiqi? Didn't even let go of the old master's body. As expected, he had a rebellious heart. Guangmu was just beside him. He didn't dare to swear. After this time, he must go to the Sea of Origin and ask the real spirit what is going on. I don't have any old faces anymore. One person dominates the Sea of Origin, enjoying all day, changing trials at will, not to mention these. Now even the tomb of the gods dare to move. Is there still a king's law? Bai Yi, what's the identity of this person? The matter of the tomb's sacred mountain, Guangmu didn't know at all. Bai's expression changed, and it was not easy to answer for a while, because he didn't know it too much. To ask Zhu Yi, he was responsible for the primitive world. At present, the inheritors have not yet been screened, and they have not yet settled in the 4 secret realms. This inheritor can be here, but he knows the reason, but he doesn't know his identity. He could only say vaguely, I heard that it had something to do with Shanjun, and he was moved to the 4 secret realms by the real spirit. When the two chatted casually, Jian Wushuang had already arrived at the teleportation formation. With a wave of his hand, he took out a few treasures, all of which were worth about tens of thousands of sacred stones. Quickly open the teleportation array, you can go anywhere. He didn't idle while talking and went straight to the teleportation array. But these emperors don't eat the set. Although the city was in chaos and the emperors were fighting, They did not dare to let anyone go without the above order. Especially Jian Wushuang, a Taoist monarch, they stopped. If it were the two in the sky, they might have to do it. An enchantment blocked Jian Wushuang's path, and a black-clothed emperor stopped him in front of him. Xiao Daojun, dare to speak wildly, take it for me. Jian Wushuang's face was fierce. Seeing that the fisherman was about to be unable to hold it, the broken hull behind him also chased him up, but he was stopped. It only takes a breath, he can be teleported away, and now he is not sent to the teleportation array. You! He couldn't speak when he was angry. Boy, I have already sent a message to the temple. They said that there is no such person as you at all, so you will be honest. When they came to the palace of the elderly, they reported to the White Tiger Hall. But he was stopped by Bai Yi in advance, and asked them to block the teleportation formation, so that no one could let go. Now that Gu Zhou is gone, Jian Wushuang has nowhere to escape. Only the teleportation array can help him escape. You're looking for death. Jian Wushuang roared, and the long sword made from the source appeared in his hand. There is a black emperor, but he is really not afraid of second-order combat power. Facing a Taoist monarch, he was actually threatened, and the emperor in black was also angry and shouted, "Arrogant!" Standing in the incomplete ancient temple, Zhu Bacha saw all this and was secretly happy. Now he doesn't need him to stop him, but he still went down to the ancient palace, ready to take the opportunity to attack Jian Wushuang. He didn't dare to be careless. If Jian Wushuang escaped, he wouldn't be able to explain, and Jian Wushuang still had 12 golden swords on him. After feeling that only Zhu Bacha appeared behind him, Jian Wushuang calmed down. Fighting with this emperor now is very unfavorable to him. If it weren't for being chased by someone, he would really want to kill the Black Emperor with a single sword. The opponent's spatial origin is not as powerful as him. Although his kendo origin is not yet complete, he is still very confident in dealing with this kind of half-hanging emperor. This kind of second-order emperor still relies on the treasure to pile up, and it is no different from those first-order emperors outside. Now his combat power is 10,000 times Divine Body, Super Grade 10 Refined Physical Body, and the ultimate kendo has reached the 7th level, which can be the level of harmony. Ji Dao even stepped into the 6th level, and the power of swallowing reached its peak. There is no threat under the emperor. Among the emperors in the 4 great secret realms, it is difficult for the emperor of the Third Order to threaten him. Facing the emperor in black, Jian Wushuang let out a cold snort and instantly turned around, killing Zhu Bacha, who was backward. Yep. I wish Bacha was stunned for a moment. He didn't expect Jian Wushuang to even dare to look back, and immediately exploded and revealed the incarnation of the 6-armed demon. The divine body also exploded to 10,000 times, a level equivalent to Jian Wushuang. But his physical body, although incarnate as a 6-armed demon, it is only at the level of a high-grade physical body, and Jian Wushuang is not at the same level. Not to mention the origin, it is nothing short of it. Dead. Heaven's penalty came in an instant, and a sword rushed into the sky. I wish Bacha hard to resist, 6 arms burst, and none of them can stop. How can he be so strong? He didn't expect to fight head-on. He couldn't hold Jian Wushuang's move. The dorsal fin was surging. He swallowed the dark red pill in one mouthful, and instantly 2 arms grew again. 8-armed demon. The divine body and the physical body doubled again, but the origin remains the same, and the improvement is limited. Fortunately, it was difficult to block the sword. The next moment, before he could react, Jian Wushuang had already arrived behind him, and he hadn't even noticed his strange body and speed. An arm passed through his chest. Swallow. Jian Wushuang clenched a fist and swallowed it like a flood, rushing into Zhu Bacha's body, breaking it down instantly. Kill this kind of guy. He has used 2 tricks to give the right face. If he knew he could still improve, he would have rushed forward and smashed Zhu Bacha's head with a punch. The emperor in black who was watching this scene was terrified, and the next moment several emperors rushed out to guard the teleportation formation. A large number of origins were swallowed by Jian Wushuang, and by the way, an ancient magic attack was decomposed from the origins of Zhu Bacha. https://mobile version reading URL Chapter 53:30. Wan Dao Sword Sovereign. The incarnation of the demon strengthens the uniqueness of the divine body and the flesh. This kind of faculty is not available in the outside world. After entering the temple of Qishan, he has not obtained any faculty. This is the first faculty. It's just that I don't have time to think about it now. After putting away the summer mustard, I looked at the battle in the sky in the distance. Now he has nowhere to escape. The fisherman had blocked 3 breaths, but he was already broken. Breaking the demon cone, slamming on his body time and time again, the vitality core in the body shook, so this puppet can still maintain its peak combat power. The puppet that Feng Demon shot was really extraordinary. Damn it, kill it for me. Luoyang attacked frantically while paying attention to the teleportation array. Seeing Jian Wushuang standing desperately outside the teleportation formation, he was completely relieved, but for the sake of safety, he still didn't dare to be careless. Directly used his trump card to disintegrate the puppet fisherman with the momentum of thunder. 6 arms, grasping the fisherman's limbs and head, looked at him with grim eyes and said gloomily, "I'm going to see how strong you are." Chi-chi-chi. After a tearing sound, Taoist Luoyang roared, and the fisherman was completely torn into pieces by him. Then the 6 hands were united, a dazzling light flashed, and there was no fisherman in the sky, and finally turned into ashes. Only one ancient boat was left. 5 breaths. It was almost as he expected, but it was half the fisherman's estimate. This is the difference between puppets and life. The strength of a puppet is fixed, but there are unlimited possibilities in life. Facing Luoyang Taoist, Jian Wushuang was not prepared to die. Now that there are no back players, there is only one fight to the death. Besides, that terrifying existence is already very close, and he can come with a few breaths, and he must stay here today. If he really fell, it was not others who killed him, but the emperors of those temples. Jian Wushuang's anger burst into his forehead. Taoist Liang arrived in an instant, looked at Jian Wushuang and sneered, "Why, not convinced? Going crazy. It's ridiculous." For the sake of safety, he didn't take the lead in attacking Jian Wushuang, but rushed into the teleportation array and damaged it wantonly. The teleportation formation here is only the lowest level, and the defense is average, and he can completely destroy it after several shots. Against the Taoist Luoyang, Jian Wushuang didn't have any confidence, and he didn't have the ability to fight back, but he had complete certainty against the black-clothed emperor who stopped him. "Let's get an operation on you." The sword has no double-faced color like a dead person, and it has become sallow. The emperor in black dared not resist facing the Taoist 6 sons, and could only disperse to one side. Some timid emperors had already rushed towards the temple. The formation there is more powerful, and their duty is to guard the teleportation formation. Now that the teleportation formation is destroyed, there is no need to stay, just send the matter back to the headquarters. Among the black-clothed emperors who were avoiding everywhere, there was the one who stopped him earlier. Jian Wushuang's figure disappeared into the space, and appeared in front of the Black Emperor in the next moment. What are you going to do?" The Black Emperor said angrily. Taoist Liang went crazy, they were powerless to stop, they had no choice but to leave, and now Jian Wushuang actually stopped him. Jian Wushuang had a hideous face, like an evil spirit, and said coldly, "What do you say I want?" Boom. A faint thought power spread out, and the next moment it burst. One thought of the universe. It's been a long time since I tried my best. In the 10,000 years in the demon suppression space, he was suffocated for a long time, and since he came out he didn't have a decent opponent. Now it is a very good whetstone against the Black Emperor. It's not too much to pull a backing before death. The absolute immortal formation came out with the power of thought, the most difficult enemy killer today, and his strongest battle formation. Sword Dao was upgraded to the 7th level, and Ji Dao also reached the 6th level. Using the strongest absolute immortal formation, it could burst out 720 swords. 720 strongest phantom swords are floating around. "Kill me!" Jian Wushuang roared. The emperor in black wanted to resist, but was unable to fight back. Surrounded by the sword formation, he had no chance at all. "Do not! You dare to kill me, I am the guardian of the temple. The Black Emperor was not reconciled. He also didn't expect Jian Wushuang to be so strong that he could even kill him. How could a Taoist make a strong city like this? This scene also shocked the Taoists of the Six Sons. There have been a lot of things against the sky, such as the Taoist beheading the emperor, but usually some first-order emperors, or some wounded emperors, are killed. Now Jian Wushuang beheaded a second-order emperor, and the opponent's strength was intact. This is too strong. No wonder it caused Shadowpin's existence to expose his identity and kill all the way. Shireichi and Tianzuan Guangmu, who were hiding in the dark, were not too surprised by this. Bai Yi is a puppet and is not interested in this. Guangmu Tianzuan, who had lived in ancient times, had seen a lot of heaven-defying Dao monarchs, and there were even some heaven-defying monarchs, which was even more amazing than this. Moreover, most of the powerhouses in the four great secret realms are descendants of ancient times. The strengths are not uniform, and compared with the real ancient monks, they are far behind. Compared with him, he is also the sixth-order peak emperor. He is much stronger than the ancient descendants in the four great secret realms, and he can sweep across the same level. But in the ancient times, there were still a lot of those ancient Xiu stronger than him. Although the Qishan line is strong, it still cannot fully represent the ancient times. Among the emperors, the real invincible existence is still those gods and generals. The strength of the 108 messengers can only be regarded as the absolute top, and the gods represent the symbol of invincibility. Under the cosmos, God will go out of his way, and there will be nothing that cannot be solved. Each is the ultimate emperor, with strength against the sky. Although the outside world does not have a strong inheritance, the ultimate existence is a lot more. He heard by mention that there are thousands of ultimate Dao monarchs in the four great secret realms now, as well as in the primitive world. More than 200 ultimate existences. There are so many masters of the ultimate way. In the ancient times, countless years have accumulated, and there are only so many. Unexpectedly, the outside world now has such a strong nurturing power. What they don't know is that now the external pressure is huge. The primitive universe has to nurture some powerful existences to protect itself. As for the more than 1,000 ultimate princes, they almost cleared hundreds of nearby universes before collecting so many people. He was treated as a treasure by the true spirit, hiding on a small island in Yuanyang Lake, and was also receiving some inheritance, directly avoiding the previous trials. There are also some immortals among them, just mastering the ultimate way. It is not suitable to send to the outer hall, so they stay in the four secret realms. Guangmu Tianzuan looked at Jian Wushuang with emotion. No wonder he would get something close to the gods. His strength was so heavenly, even in ancient times, he would be cultivated as an emperor. Chapter 53-31. Wan Dao Sword Sovereign. The emperor in black finally turned into ashes, leaving no trace of breath. Since the ultimate kendo entered the 7th level, some of the structures in the Juxian formation gradually did not suit him, but they hadn't been almost improved yet. It seems that he will have no chance in the future. The towering demon incarnation destroyed half of Beishan City. The city lord who was sitting here had already ran to the depths of Zhangzhou with people, not daring to leak his head. I was afraid that Luyang would go crazy and would kill him too. Click. Jian Wushuang, whose physical body has reached the limit, exudes a colorful halo. Taoist of the Six Sons, I have no grievances with you. Why do I have to get to this point? Although he guessed that the identity of the Six Sons is unusual, it may be the opposition forces in the Temple of Qishan, but now there is no other way. Hope the opponent will not directly kill the killer. As long as the time is delayed, there will always be miracles. The true spirit gave him all the jade boards of the gods, and he should be valued very much. As long as he held it for a while, the true spirit might appear. The Taoist Liang smashed some black-clothed emperors casually, and his towering body overlooked the little bit Jian Wushuang, revealing a touch of hideousness. Jian Wushuang, don't be clever. Even if the temple master comes today, he won't be able to save you. Lu Yang's voice was very gloomy. He is very loyal to the Shadow Sect and has always had great expectations of the Shadow Sect. I hope that that day Shadow Sect defeats the temple and truly controls the 4 secret realms. From this point of view, Taoist Luyang didn't know enough about Qishan Temple. When Jian Wushuang heard the Lord of the Temple, he immediately thought of the 4 halls that the old man Yang Jiao said. He was the territory of the Lord Zhu Yi in the primitive world. This is the site of the White Tiger Palace Lord. Taoist of 6 sons, you must not be deceived. The 4 secret realms are different from what you think. The Lord of the Temple is not the strongest of the 4 secret realms at all. There are many people who are more powerful than him. He was right. The 4 secret realms really didn't belong to the White Tiger Palace. The real controller was the true spirit. Taoist Luyang has been a member of the Shadow Sect since he was very weak. How could he be frightened by this and sneered, "You arrogant boy, don't think that you come from the secret realm of the Tomb of the Gods, and you feel that you have enough knowledge. I know God better than you." With that, he pointed to the sky above. From Luyang's point of view, the power of Shadow Sect was not something that Jian Wushuang, a Taoist monarch, could imagine. Seeing this scene, Jian Wushuang understood that the other party was a fool, like a trapped beast in a cage, sitting on a well and watching the sky. Not to mention strength, he knows a lot more than Taoist Luyang. He at least knew that this was the temple of Qishan. The outside world is the sky and the sea, here is a birdcage. In the sky in the distance, a white-haired man was extremely fast, much faster than Guzhou. Jian Wushuang had already arrived in front of him when he sensed the opponent. Looking at the man in front of him, he couldn't help trembling, his breath was extremely terrifying, he was almost like Shan Jun, but Shan Jun was injured and suppressed at the beginning, which may not be his true strength. Gray hair? Jian Wu's eyes leaked surprise. White hair is not the key is the breath, which is actually very similar to him, it is the breath of perfect flesh. Could it be that the opponent is also a super-grade flesh body? Inheritor. The White King who had just arrived, revealed greed in his eyes. The physical similarity made him instantly understand that the inheritor in front of him was actually a super-quality physical body, which was even more perfect than he had imagined. King Bai looked up to the sky and roared, making no secret of his greedy color, and laughed and said, "God is helping me." Super-quality flesh, complete Tao, once this inheritor is taken away, he will be stronger in the future than it is now. He is now relying on external forces. Although his body is perfect and his origin is comparable to the ultimate, he is ultimately limited, only 3 days. After seizing this inheritor, according to the gods, he will obtain everything from the inheritor, including the origin and the divine body, as well as the physical body. The Taoist Luyang who was standing on the side saw King Bai. Although he didn't know him, he knew that it was the predecessor of the Shadow Sect who had arrived. Below, Luyang, the 14th generation disciple of Shadow Sect, has seen the predecessors. Taoist Liang took away the incarnation of the demon and changed his way, kneeling down on one knee, holding his chest with one hand, respectfully. King White had no interest in him, he just nodded, took out a mustard seed at will, and threw it to the other party. There are many treasures in it, but compared with Jian Wushuang, it's not much. This is also the rule set by the gods. Treasures are nothing, but Luyang Taoist talents are important. This is the pattern. If there is no such rule, he can kill the opponent out of his breath, save a large amount of treasure, and keep it for himself in the future. Wouldn't it be better? The gap is here. Jian Wushuang looked at all this with despair in his eyes. Looking at the other person's eyes, he couldn't die easily. This place is not suitable for long, you also follow me. The White King stopped for 2 or 3 breaths. He didn't have a long time, so he didn't dare to delay. The back road was planned long ago, and now the evacuation couldn't be better, and there was no strong man in the temple along the way. Jian Wushuang closed his eyes slightly, this time he was dead. At this moment he was relieved, did not hate other people, but hated that he was not strong enough. He has to admit that his luck has been good enough. Although the energy is difficult and dangerous, he has achieved what he is today. If it really falls this time, it's nothing. He, who had reached the 5th level of mental strength, could see him better than the emperor. I fate forever. This life is enough. If there is a chance, he will not hesitate. Just when he was desperate, A faint breath rose in an instant, but it was here in an instant. Mr. Bai, you are afraid that you won't be able to take him away today. Bai Yi and Guangmu Tianzuan stepped out side by side, and there were 5 sixth-order emperors in all directions, already surrounded. The 5 black-robe emperors instantly rose up a large formation, surrounding them all. The broad-eyed Tianzuan yelled even more, his figure soaring, a pair of incomparably big eyes, illuminating the world. Bai Yi is a silver armor with a long knife in his hand, and the aura exuding from above is enough to destroy the world. After discovering that he was surrounded, Liu Yang panicked instantly. King Bai also leaked a surprised look. He didn't notice Bai Yi's ambush, which was beyond his expectation. However, after discovering that Bai Yi came only after the incarnation, the heart he was holding was also let go. A Dharmakaya, you are as stupid as Wu Zhua. As soon as the voice fell, the battle started. Rumble. A broad black robe flew out, and instantly swept him and the Taoist Liu Yang. There was a terrifying battle in the outside world. The White King, one man fights 7 emperors. Among them, the strongest person, Guangmu Tianzun's combat power has also reached the top, but compared with the White King, it is still weaker. The origin and the divine body are much different. The origin of the White King has been exhausted, and now it is the origin of 10,000 ways. In short, it is not his origin. Use 1 point less 1 point. Chapter 53-32. Wan Dao Sword Sovereign, but the 68,000 times the divine body is genuine. If he confronts Guangmu alone, he can still get away, but there is Bai Yi's law bodies beside him. Regardless of just the law bodies, the combat power is actually close to the top. The law bodies are so strong, the true bodies can be paid off. No wonder the gods told him that he could escape when he met Bai Yi's real body, and he didn't even mention whether he could fight. The remaining 5 unidentified emperors, forming a large formation, can also be comparable to the most powerful ones. There are 3 great fighters. In the Tomb of the Gods, not all of the powerful special beings are superb. After reaching the 6th rank, some of them have ordinary strength, which is stronger than their flesh and blood beings, but they are not much stronger. The other 5 emperors are okay. They just form a battle formation which can trap him, but can't suppress him. If one-on-one, only 3 or 5 moves can be broken. King Bai's eyes flashed and his body suddenly twisted. Go straight to the battle formation formed by the 5 emperors. A bunch of idiots. Boom. King Bai blasted out with a punch and immediately retreated from the battlefield. When he wanted to chase and kill him, the 2 of Guangmu Tianzuan and Bai Yi instantly attacked, and they had to give up. If you want to break the game, you can only solve the weakest first. He gritted his teeth and resisted the 2 of them, and was going to break the battlefield. The White King, whose divine body almost surpassed the limit of the emperor, soared to hundreds of millions of miles, covering the sky and the sun. A grasp of the void, the might of the sky. Broken. One word came out, as if the words came out and the law followed, directly breaking the battlefield, and the 5 emperors vomited blood and retreated. The goal is achieved as long as it is defeated, and now there is no time to kill them all. Bai's eyes grew colder. This time he miscalculated, and he also looked up at the Yuan Palace. He thought he could pick up a leak or put it to the end, but he didn't expect that the other party would be so powerful, which caused him to fall into a difficult position. I couldn't suppress King Bai, but now he and Guangmu are left, and the chances of wanting to keep each other are very small. I knew that my 2 Dharmakayas came together, but now I have to waste a treasure to win him. Bai Yi said regretfully. After Guangmu heard this, his eyes leaked joy, and he hurriedly said, Bai Yi, if you have a treasure, use it. The origin of this servant is too weird, and it will change when you are late. As he said, the origin of the White King becomes stronger as he fights, but also less and less. He really wants to drag on, he is afraid that both of them will have to explain here. The opponent's combat power is among the divine envoys, and can also be ranked in the forefront. The 2 of them are not opponents yet. If Bai Yi's deity comes, he can still win the opponent, but now a Dharma body is a little stronger than Wu's was Dharma body. It will not have much effect at all. It is okay to kill some native monarchs in the 4 secret realms. It's not that simple to meet these old guys. Okay, please also ask Brother Guangmu to hold him. I need a little time. Bai Yi said in a low voice, and there was an extra ball in his hand. It was covered with a layer of frost. This is the first gate in the north, the highest eternal treasure that came up first, and it is also a one-time treasure. Once used, it is gone. At this moment, it is too late to feel distressed. This time to save Jian Wushuang, he must go to Zhu Yi to ask for a treasure to make up for himself. He didn't want Zhu Yi to have so many treasures. Facing the hundreds of millions of miles of King Bai, Guangmu Tianzhen's eyes looked at the world, and he looked at each other in anger. Rebel, you have forgotten whose courtier you are. You dare to make a mistake here. As the messenger of the gods, Guangmu Tianzhen is extremely majestic. Although his strength is a little worse than the opponent, his aura is extremely fierce. King Bai didn't want to eat him. Although he was taken aback at first, he was a little frightened, but I don't know how long it has been since the gods have fallen. He sneered and said, "It's a waste dog that doesn't want to be buried. Install. If your master has the heart, how can you be here? You are just a trash abandoned by the ancient times, and you dare to be a mad dog in front of you. When I was in ancient times, you were not born yet." A series of verbal abuse pierced into the heart and flesh of Guangmu Tianzhen, and he was angry with his flash hat and directly shot into the sky. "You are looking for death." Guangmu Tianzhen shouted angrily. The two played against each other. Only in a moment, the powerful aura spread to the entire Zhangzhou, and the 100,000 mountains trembled. Guangmu's heart was shocked. A powerful sword struck, and he was actually injured. "Ha, Guangmu, can you dare to fight the divine body?" King Bai defiantly said. Just now the origin attack, he was actually at the end of the crossbow, that strand of origin was almost consumed by him, the divine body was able to last for 3 days, and the origin could not be maintained for a moment. Guangmu Tianzhen looked solemn and said coldly, "Don't say a punch, I will take your life." "Huh, arrogant." King Bai leaked a trace of disdain, and the broad-eyed Tianzhen was not afraid to flash his tongue. 68,000 times the divine body is much stronger than the special lives of the divine tomb. With his full punch, it is not easy for Guangmu to take it. Really desperately, it's really not impossible for him to kill Guangmu in 3 days. Seeing Bai Yi retreat, he knew that these two people still have a backhand. Now it is not the time to desperately, and when there is no trouble formation, Bai Yi is starting the backhand again. Now is his only chance to escape. WWW. Novel. Who knows what is waiting for Bai Yi? If he can't go, he is stupid. He squeezed in the void, and a powerful divine power condensed into one extreme point. This punch was like the material power of a world, bursting from one point. Eventually evolved into a world, born from the void to the void. Space cohesion. Breaking the law with force is really true. The punch of the divine body could actually shatter the origin of the wide area space, causing his figure to fall into a dark turbulence. With a punch, he shuttled through the space directly in front of Guangmu. Faced with this punch, Guangmu Tianzhen turned his eyebrows, and this punch could not be avoided, he could only take it hard. Jian Wushuang, who was put into his sleeve robe, felt that momentum through the induction of space, and this power made his mind tremble. The outside fighting lasted for less than a few breaths, but every time he fought, the space he was in could tremble, and even showed signs of breaking. Standing in the dark corner, the Taoist Liang was also surprised by the fighting outside. He was stronger than Jian Wushuang and felt the more obvious. Sixth Order Emperor? Is it really that strong? Why is it a little different from what he saw? He has seen a scene where the sect master of the Heavenly Demon Gate takes action and becomes an 8-armed heavenly demon fighting a 6th Order Emperor. That's it. How can there be such a shocking, shattered space origin? This is what the Emperor can do. Is it? He didn't even cultivate in the space to understand that since he stepped into the origin of the space, his realm has stagnated, and he can only be improved by accumulation of treasures, otherwise he would have no hope of 6th Order in his life. As the messenger of the gods, how could Guangmu Tianzhen not have some special skills? Facing that punch, the cyan armor gathered on his body, gathered his whole Buddha's supernatural power, and hit the strongest palm of his life, directly blasted out, head-on with King Bai. Chapter 53-33. One Dao Sword Sovereign, the two meet. It's like a world being flattened by a palm, but a flat world still has the same material power. The body of Guangmu Tianzuan was instantly pushed back, and the divine body also began to drop suddenly at this moment, which had been reduced to 30,000 times. His divine body had been transformed to a limit of 50,000 times. The enchantment White King broke his divine body with a single punch, directly injuring him seriously. Too strong. It is already comparable to the gods of the year. You must know that the gods and generals of that year can be said to be the invincible existence among the emperors, and they are the strongest group of emperors in their long river of time and space. That is the ultimate emperor, and not many have reached that level in the ultimate way. How could this King White become so strong? If he remembers correctly, these people were not willing to take refuge in the temple of Qishan at the beginning, and they were all drained of their origins, leaving only the divine body thrown into the mezzanine of the four great secret realms. It's not surprising that they can come out. After all, the four great mysteries have been running through for so many years. It is not surprising that these old guys come out, but it is a bit outrageous to have such a strong strength. After the first blow was effective, King White instantly turned around and turned into 3,000 streamers, scattered around, unexpectedly trying to escape. But when he was just dispersed, snow fluttered in the sky. A little snow falls. This scene reminded him of the Lord of Extreme Cold, an extremely powerful master of the universe. This is the realm of fame of that cold master. Wherever you are, everything turns into frost. 3,000 streamers had just dispersed and were directly frozen in the air. No matter how King Bai moved, he couldn't break free. Bai said with a relaxed look and smiled lightly, "You can't escape. In this extremely cold field, you are a frozen dead fish." The method of the Lord of the Universe, no matter how strong the Emperor is, it can't be broken. If there is a gap between the Taoist and the Emperor, then the Emperor and the Lord of the Universe are the gap between the sky and the earth. If you want to step up, it is unwilling to do it. Lord against the heavens of the reverse universe, but if the Emperor wants to defend against the heavens, the ones against the heavens are the heavens in the long river of time and space. It's not one level at all. It is hundreds of millions of times more difficult than the Taoist guard against the sky. In ancient times, throughout history, there was also an emperor who could reverse the long river of time and space. That emperor was brilliant and talented. Countless people thought that another starry sky master was born, but unfortunately the final death of his life was condensed on the emperor's fate. She was the one who once pierced Qiu Huangqing with a single sword, and did not even look at Great Emperor Juun. The real emperor, among the emperors, no one is his one-sword enemy, and the 18 gods and generals have to stay behind. The only one, the emperor who obtained the name of God in the temple of Qishan. The body of the emperor is comparable to the divine Lord. Such existence is the luck of an era, allowing countless people to see this dazzling character. The character like the White King, in the hands of that existence, can't do a trick, let alone break through these realms. Brother Guangmu, I have already told Wuzhua about this place. He will be there soon, so we can just wait here. Bai smiled. This treasure must not be wasted. When Wuzhua came, he had to humiliate the opponent severely. Even his own people looked down on him. And Zhu Yi, she will have to owe herself a favor from now on. Jian Wushuang's talent is good, and he will become an emperor in the future. He is a figure who has the hope to set foot on the ranks of the top, and he can't just give it up. When Guangmu Tianzuan heard Wuzhua coming, his face sank. But on second thoughts, he didn't follow Qishan into the tomb of the gods. How could he be qualified to taunt Wuzhua? Thinking of this place, his complexion also eased, and he nodded in agreement. I have arrived at Wuzhua in Liuzhou, wandering around, and I can't even find the breath of King Bai, let alone where I went to find it. The same is true for the strong men who have entered Liuzhou's palace of the elders, and there is no way to start. In Beishan City, Wu's eyes were cold after receiving the call. It was Bai Yi who sent him the information. It would be best if Jian Wushuang was fine. Once there was an accident, Zhen Ling would not let him go. He can now be regarded as understanding the temper of the true spirit, and everything is easy to say along with the true spirit, and there will be no shortage of status, identity, and treasures. Anyone who violates a little bit, or fails to do things to his satisfaction, will definitely be tortured by the real spirit wearing small shoes and changing the law. After receiving Bai Yi's summons, he directly told the other strong men in the Yuan Elder Palace, and all flew towards Beishan City in Zhangzhou. On the way, by the way, the sheep was rescued from under a big mountain. When these people went to Beishan City together, in the depths of the heavens, with their faces tumbling, a giant dragon surged and arrived at Beishan City in an instant. The taste on this inheritor is very similar to that of that person. It is a practitioner of the primitive universe, but unfortunately it is not the one predicted. The dragon had only one eye, opened it and turned it around, and then closed it again. His deity couldn't get out at all, he could only reveal a trace of strength, and left here to go to Beishan City above. This trace of power is different from the origin of the Temple of Discord, and even the origin of the original universe. It seems like it shouldn't belong to the power here. The power like a dragon rushed out from the ground and entered the extremely cold domain. Even the domain could not stop it, but entered the body of King White in an instant. Listen, this trace of power can only last for a quarter of an hour, go to the depths of Zhangzhou as planned, and then go all the way north, across the ancient city, to the extremely cold place, where someone will pick you up. King White was overjoyed when he heard these words. I thought I was going to explain here today, but I didn't expect the gods to give him a trace of true power. As soon as the voice fell, he felt the power, and it poured into his body in an instant. This power. The frozen 3,000 streamers reunited in an instant. This scene surprised Bai. How is this possible? This is an extremely cold domain. Even if the demon masters come over, they may not be able to escape so easily. Rewind. Bai Yi yelled to Guangmu Tianzuan after reacting. The recondensed King White, with a rising aura, the source of the heaven and earth that did not belong to this side, made the heavens begin to tremble. This breath has surpassed the emperor. A quarter of an hour. It was enough. Seeing the two retreat, King White didn't have time to entangle with them, so he chose to leave directly. The speed this time has surpassed the limit of space. It is better to say that it is flying than teleportation. Teleport in the Temple of Qishan. Teleportation is not difficult, Dao Jun can do it, but it is in the outside world, in the primitive universe. In the Temple of Qishan, I am afraid that no one except the true spirit can teleport, and it is because of the treasure that Zhu Yi shuttles at will. King White can teleport and easily break through the extreme cold field, which also shows that his strength has undergone a qualitative change. I am afraid that at that moment, he has reached the level of being comparable to the Lord of the Universe. Chapter 53-34. One Dao Sword Sovereign, Beishan City. The present Beishan City is more of a ruin than a city. Moreover, it was still frozen ruins, and some emperors, Taoists, and even the weak emperors who had not had time to retreat were all fixed here. For the powerful emperor, this is a ruin, but for those Taoists, it will be an ancient ruin in the future. The breath surging above is so precious, and the treasures buried underground are even more crazy. It's just that these are things to say. There will be no Beishan City in Baimu Zhangzhou in the future, and there will be no Guangmu Tianzuan. After this battle, Guangmu prepared to settle in the White Tiger Palace and thoroughly investigate the rebellion. The deposition of countless epics has caused many people to forget his name. It is time to come out again. For countless years, he has not taken that step. Maybe if you go out, you will be able to make a breakthrough. Although in the Temple of Qishan, there is no strong inheritance for him to practice, but there are still changes in his mood. Brother Guangmu, with your participation in the White Tiger Palace, it must be great again. Bai Yi leaked joy. This time, let King Bai run away. Although he was a little unwilling, he was able to get Guangmu out of the mountains, which was also a big receipt, which was not in vain. It would be better if you didn't use that treasure. Guangmu leaked a trace of shame and said in a deep voice, Hallmaster Bai, I disappointed you this time and failed to take down the servant. I wanted to use his head as the first gift to the White Tiger Hall. He did think so at the beginning, but he did not expect that the current 4 secret realms are simply hidden dragons and crouching tigers. Some old immortal things have all run out. He is a super strong man in the first battle of his comeback. This is actually the case. Unbearable, it's a bit embarrassing. Bai Yi also said that the core layer of the current White Tiger Palace is already a rising emperor. He is a veteran strong, and he is a bit embarrassing in front of the younger generation without any strength when he comes back. Glancing at the black robe emperors, their expressions changed. Wait, go back first, this time the matter must not be spread. Bai Yi's expression changed slightly and his voice was majestic. Several black robe emperors in the distance immediately took their orders and bowed back. The teleportation array was destroyed and could only go to other big states. Bai Yi looked at Guangmu, and when he was about to speak, he noticed a spot of light flashing in the distant sky, and then it surged in with the momentum of thunder. The person here is Wu's deity. After regaining his strength, his combat power did not lose to the main hall masters. Now he is sitting in the palace of the elders, faintly with the grace of a superior, looking at Bai for a moment without the respect he had before. What about people? Guangmu used to be the messenger of the gods, but his relationship with Wuzhou was so. At the beginning, his status was not inferior to these named disciples. Seeing the other party's attitude of inquiring about crimes, he immediately snorted. Wuzhou, pay attention to your words. This is to help Brother Bai Yi, but not for you. This is not Shuaigua to Bai Yi, but it is true. It can't be said that he and Bai Yi are rubbish, let people run away. No matter what the excuse is, I can't say that. Unless the other party is the master of the universe. Wu's facial muscles were shaking, and he knew that he was too arrogant. He calmed down his tone and said, Brother Guangmu, it's also a great pleasure for you to go out of the mountain. If it's something else, I will definitely not pursue it. Just this time, Master True Spirit gave an order to save Jian Wushuang's life. Although the tone has become polite, the threat of words is still there. Bai Yi doesn't eat this set. What he hates most now is that others use the real spirit to crush him, and immediately shouted, It is the real spirit's order for you, not us. Although the person escaped from both of them, he couldn't throw the pot to them both. Is Wuzhou okay? Let a god-casting envoy follow Jian Wushuang. What strength is he? Not to mention the absolute top. Just say that a 6th Order Emperor can easily kill Jian Wushuang's life. It's not good to protect yourself, so I'll blame them. The Lord of his heavenly hall has fallen. What is a Jian Wushuang? It is true that every ultimate way can reach the top. If this is the case, simply offer up those ultimate princes and treat them as ancestors. Hall Master Bai, you just said that. Although Lord True Spirit assigned the Northern Territory to the Senate Palace, don't forget who you are fighting for. At this point, Wuzhou also there was a lot of energy and he said loudly, Your surname is Bai in the White Tiger Palace. No one can stop a superb emperor. Anger rose on both sides. The talk was inconsistent, and Bai could also see that Wuzhou really had no guts to take the pot, and the two sides could only fight one more time. Wuzhou came from the deity, with ample confidence in his heart. Today, there was a big battle, and the lifelike spirit appeared. Otherwise, he has no face to look for the true spirit. Guangmu had listened to the previous words, but he couldn't help seeing Wuzhou doing this. He had a burst of personality. Do you dare to do it? Wuzhou looked savagely, swallowing with one hand, and immediately gave a wide-eyed breath. In fact, I didn't do anything, it was just a pure momentum deterrence, but at this time, it is no longer justified not to fight. This is not a fuss, but has been planned for a long time. Guangmu Tianzuan was persuaded by Bai Yi with great difficulty, couldn't watch it, and he also joined the battle group at the moment. Some emperors who hadn't escaped found out that there was another big battle behind them, and they were so frightened that their speed increased again, and they dared not look back. In the void, a figure faintly appeared, and the true spirit had arrived. Looking at the ruins, going back in time, after understanding what happened, he left without even looking at them. Wu's combat power was much stronger than that of King Bai. If he was really dead, Bai's Dharmakaya and Guangmu would not be opponents at all. Regardless of the dynamics, in fact, both sides have left behind. This battle is for the real spirit to see. The true spirit is lazy to look. External pressure, internal turbulence. His true spirit is really not easy. He immediately hides his figure, leaving only a trace of breath. Let Bai and the others understand that they have been here by themselves. Jian Wushuang is indeed very important, and since discovering the reason, he has treated him specially. Even the personal things of the gods were given to the other party. It ends like this now. Time and fate. There is nothing to say, and the timeline cannot be checked. It is also a curse to stay around, and it will fall. He has done enough. The existence in the starry sky should not hold him accountable. And Jian Wushuang may not have any connection with the other party, maybe he thinks too much. But after losing an ultimate Taoist, he would never make this kind of mistake again. Although the ultimate harmony is difficult, it can't hold up a lot of people. More than 1,000 ultimate existence. As long as I Cheng Hadao succeeds, there are hundreds of ultimate emperors. As long as one of these people achieves the pinnacle and steps into the Lord of the Universe, he can solve the crisis of the original universe, destroy that god, and understand the cause and effect left behind. Chapter 53-35. Wan Dao Sword Sovereign. He can take the Temple of Qishan, re-enter the long river of time and space, and far shield other time and space. Going to some stable time and space, where there is a stronger existence, he does not believe that the predecessor's prediction can really dry up the time and space. If it didn't work, he launched the Temple of Qishan to investigate the cause and effect of the senior. Although that senior is very powerful. But Yu Xianyi had a deep cause and effect. He gave Xianyi a blood sacrifice, looking for the position of the senior. Wherever he went, the Temple of Qishan followed. See who will die first then. This prophecy has been pressing in his heart. The reason why the Temple of Qishan has swept the world is to be great again and restore the line of Qishan. As a result, the senior told them that once the Temple of Qishan was reopened, a great existence in the future would surely be invited, and then the entire time and space would be withered, and that existence would reach the top. Exhausting the entire time and space, when the time comes, it will be all over, and the whole line of the gods will be finished. No matter how strong the existence is, what's the use? Future. Zhen Ling shook his head. Too far. Seize the day. Back in the Sea of Origin, there is still one person in the Heart Sea Hall. It is the only ultimate emperor, Shang, in the primitive universe, Breakthrough. Zhen Ling said that the temperature was mild, and the gratification appeared in Shang Shi's eyes. It's too bad, so what can I do? At the beginning, Emperor Jueyun was also against the sky. What happened later? I didn't break through, I ended up not useful at all. Shang, the ultimate emperor, who is moving forward steadily and is extremely low-key, is the real future. Once you step into the Lord of the Universe, that is the most powerful existence. Dao Jun is against the sky, and the Emperor is against the sky. Do you really think that you can go against the sky? At best, kill the weak Emperor. Seeing the return of the true spirit, Shang hurriedly got up, with a smile on his face, and answered calmly, just nodded. There is no such thing as the joy of ordinary people after a breakthrough. Your background is very deep. It won't take long for you to reach the peak. It is only a matter of time before you can cultivate the origin of space to perfection. What you need to do now is the secret method of the universe. This is the only way out. The line of Shang is different from that of the gods, but the character in cultivation is most similar to that of the gods. Among those Taoists he still couldn't see much, but as long as there were no accidents in the future, Shang would surely shine forever. The two were seated again. Business breakthrough. Achievement of 6th Order Emperor. There is a series of cultivation Dongtian waiting for him behind. The ultimate emperor's training is not comparable to Dao Jun. In the end, the true spirit sent Shang away and went to the tomb of one of the 4 secret realms. The 5 inheritances left by Qixin have now opened the first one. There are 2 more. Huiqing, who is most valued by the true spirit, can occupy one without accident, and Jian Wushuang can also occupy the next without falling. In the primitive world, there are still a few candidates, and there is hope to occupy one of them. He sees that the level of people is very high. Whether it is the Shang of the ultimate emperor or the Huiqing of the Taoist, there is an obvious similarity, that is, stability. The background is profound, and once you encounter a great opportunity, it will be transformed. Jian Wushuang is the opposite. The background is uneven. Personality is also much worse, unstable. Almost fell a few times, and this time was looted by those old guys. At the Taoist level, there may be some luck. But after arriving at the emperor, luck is only a means. The stronger the emperor, the deeper the luck. The emperor was the beginning of the strong, and the crisis at that time was much more desperate than the Taoist. Zhen Ling sighed. He is a true spirit, there is no law body to speak of, he must always guard the true core origin of the Temple of Qi. These little guys, there can be no more accidents. The true spirit's figure flashed, looking at the 4 superimposed secret realms in the void in the Qixin temple. From the robe, raised his arm, pointed it out, and a dazzling light at the fingertips rushed into the 4 secret realms. The dragon surging in the gap between the 4 great secret realms uttered a terrifying roar. This time, the lesson was enough to let the other party be honest for a while. But this is not enough. His minions are still hidden in the 4 great secret realm. He directly sent a message to the palace of the elders and went to the primordial realm to find the main guardians of Zhuyidian to suppress the heaven. Zhu Yi of primordial realm had nothing to do with this. Although he was blackmailed from a mountain of magic sounds, it was reasonable for the stability of the 4 secret realms to produce some treasures. On Yuanyang Lake in the center of the heavens, 4 streams of light descended from the sky, falling into the lake and gradually forming 1,000 waves of water. In addition to these 4 streams of light, a wall of gas rose up on the border of Yuanyang Lake at this time. In the past, the formation was established by the strong in the Elder's Palace, but now this Qi wall was given to them by Zhu. The unbreakable formation of the most powerful, completely laid a solid foundation for the Senate Palace. At this time, the many strong men who returned to the Yuan Palace were taken aback by this scene. I thought I was going to ask them about their sins, but I didn't expect to get so many benefits instead. The others were nothing, and didn't know the importance of Jian Wushuang. Wu's heart was tight. The less true spirit didn't come out to humiliate him, the more uneasy he was, and he always felt that true spirit was waiting for an opportunity to settle accounts with him. Blame those 2 wastes. Wu's cursed secretly from the bottom of his heart after realizing that the true spirit had come. They stopped their hands, each mocked each other, and eventually even sat in the same teleportation formation. Honestly returned to their respective chassis. The Northern Territory was also completely in their hands. In addition to recalling the powerhouses from various temples, Bai Yi also demolished the teleportation array, and they destroyed the Yuan Palace if they could not buy enough treasures. This made the popularity of the Senate Palace half dead. In the end, only a contract can be signed, and the benefits of the teleportation array will be distributed to the White Tiger Palace 30%. At this time, the interior of the Senate Palace was very united, not only from the pressure from the White Tiger Palace, but also from the opportunity of this aftermath. I have the highest seniority here, and I will host today's conference. A veteran green cow, dressed in a Tai Chi picture, looked majestic. Thousands of strong people in the hall nodded one after another. Even Wuzhua doesn't make any sense. He has a special status and strong strength, but he hasn't arrogantly forgotten the beginning. Outside the Temple of Qixin, I can't get in or go away, like a bereaved dog. Now it is hard to find a place to stay. It is the time to do something, and the former arrogance will naturally be erased. Okay, in that case, let's start. This meeting is to carve up the northern border. Of course, being a strong person is to save face, which cannot be said so obvious. The prestigious election. Dear elders, above the high seat, read out the door rules once set by the gods. Then there is the selection column. In addition to the name, the Yuan Lao Palace must have its own position. After this point was put forward, it was immediately opposed by the veterans of the name A, but couldn't hold back the public opinion, and finally made a slight concession, and the final position was decided after a few parties talked. The veterans of the name A have all obtained high-level rights and interests. Chapter 53-36. Wan Dao Sword Sovereign. The veterans of other names either hold important positions in the palace, or are assigned to some wealthy states in the north. The entire northern border is so big and there are so many treasures. They are only a few thousand people. Even the weakest and the youngest, they can be assigned to Liuzhou's affluent areas and become powerful. The status of the Senate Palace is not lost to the temple. After they took office, their status in the local area was very high. Although most of them were fifth-order emperors, they were powerful. Almost crushed the same level, with noble status, basically left sideways in the north. The Palace of the Elders, the head of the law enforcement hall, is the responsibility of His Royal Highness Wu Zhuo. Congratulations! For a time, Wu Zhuo was in the limelight and raised his glass high. The Senate Palace is divided into 6 halls, and the law enforcement hall has the highest status. It can patrol any place in the entire northern border, and it is also the best position. Wu Zhuo pressed his hand, and first bowed slightly to pay respect to the senior veterans above, and then looked at the senior veterans below, and said with a smile, "Thanks to the love of all the seniors, I Wu Zhuo will serve as the head of the law enforcement hall later. I will do my best for the gang." After some one-sidedness, he then boasted, "Northern Realm. That is just a starting point. In the future, our world will not only be a northern realm, but the entire heaven realm, and even the 4 secret realms." "Okay." The green cow above said, very happy. The veterans in the hall were also full of joy. He originally thought that Wu Zhuo hadn't forgotten his former identity. Now it seems that he is much more honest and will not rely on his strength to overwhelm people. Such people will not be simple in the future, and they have to be attracted well. After the scene subsided, Qing Yo Lao Dao spoke again. Today, the entire Yuan Lao Palace still has the last place. He pointed to the throne behind him. This is the highest place of the Senate Palace, and the throne behind it is naturally the highest place. The pinnacle of power, the peak of power in the north, the peak of power in the Palace of the Elders. When talking about this, everyone's faces became quiet. They were not qualified to sit in this position, but a few of the type veterans above were qualified. Among the more than a dozen Tier 6 veterans in addition to Qing Yo, there are 2 more qualified. Emperor Lu Hua, the Sword of Changfeng. These 2 strengths are close to the top, and they are the 4th-ranked figures in the A font. Being old-fashioned with Qing Yo is just a little bit worse. Qing Yo Lao Dao is grade a 3rd, and the 2 of them are grade a 4th. As for the latter, the qualifications and strength are not enough. For example, the 3 eyes of the sheep of God casting God is Jialio, and he was assigned to the Supreme Hall to become a deputy hall master, but the hall master did not move to refine it. This makes Yang Sanmu very upset, but the opponent is a 6th-order emperor, and his seniority ranks above him, plus the defeat of the guard Jian Wushuang this time, he can't help it. It was because Yu Zhuo was able to get a deputy hall master because of his resistance. Wu Zhuo also had a great responsibility for failing to protect Jian Wushuang. It was he halfway through the old horned man to find Broly, but he didn't find him, and he lost Jian Wushuang. The old man with horns sat in the corner of the uppermost corner, with a dead heart. At the beginning, he also agreed with Jian Wushuang to help him refine the origin of the beast and magic weapon. "Little guy, I hope you survive." The old man with horns raised his head and took a sip of boring wine, feeling melancholy. He was not qualified or interested in the competition at the top. Emperor Lu Hua, the Sword of Changfeng, and the Green Cow. The 3 most qualified candidates stand side by side. Qing Yo Lao Dao stood in the middle. His face was calm on the surface, but he was very confident in his heart. "Everyone listen to me." Emperor Lu Hua took the lead to speak, breaking the silence. He is elegant and has a very friendly tone. turned his head to look at the position behind him, then looked at everyone, and said with a faint smile, "This position is good." When he was speaking, his eyes were full of yearning, but he knew that it would be too costly to want to sit in this position. Turning around again, Emperor Lu Hua looked at everyone and said a word that shocked everyone's jaw. "Lu is very talented, and I am not qualified to be alone in this position." This surprised everyone. Wu Zhuo also leaked his doubts. He and Emperor Lu Hua were brothers of life and death in ancient times, and had a fateful friendship. If Lu Hua were to fight for that position, he would definitely assist him, and he had already begun to win over everyone secretly, ready to support Emperor Lu Hua. Suddenly no more disputes now. Many people are surprised. The only thing that is not surprising is that Qing Niu is old-fashioned, and all of this is planned by him behind his back. Now there are two people left. The sword Changfeng has a fiery temper, and he is not as refined as Emperor Lu Hua. Qing Niu also knew the other party's temper and made a gesture of asking. Changfeng's sword god stepped forward, his aura leaked, his face was grim, and his voice was low and said, "I want list them all, Qing Niu, let's start. Election, it is natural to vote. Now that Lu Hua withdraws, the two of them will be left and vote directly." Lu Hua stepped back and began to send a message to Wu Zhuo, Changfeng. Wu Zhuo, who was sitting in the middle, quickly understood this. Qing Niu had confidence in his heart, but he didn't want to make things too embarrassing. When voting, Yu read the book www.akanshu.com, and he sent a message to the two next to him and made some promises, but only Lu Hua agreed. Changfeng's sword god does not eat this set. Brother Qing Niu, the three positions are not necessarily bad, but advantageous. Emperor Lu Hua whispered quietly, but on the other side he was tinkering with the sword Changfeng, letting him fight to the end. The two joined forces to fight the green cow, one with a red face and the other with a white face. What they want is not one position, but two positions. Who stipulated that there is only one palace master in the Yuan Lao Palace, and 4 palace masters in the 4 halls. Nowadays, the high position of the capable is popular. Since they are all capable, they should sit together. Qing Niu Lao Dao always smiled, but he cursed secretly in his heart. Lu Hua's withdrawal was to join Changfeng to pit him, but he couldn't help it. Changfeng's fierce temper was impossible to talk about. Voting ends soon. After the announcement, the two had the same number of votes. Just so few people, the number of votes is easy to manipulate. Changfeng's sword god cannot win. If Lu Hua is defeated, Qing Niu cannot win. Both Changfeng and Lu Hua will lose. Only equality is a big win. It seems that the two are fighting, but the chess player behind it is Emperor Lu Hua. But Qing Niu's complexion did not change, but he sighed in his heart. "This time I lost myself and face." At this moment, Lu Hua slowly stepped forward and said loudly, "I will be a notary public. Since it's flat, it's better for the two to take this position together." As soon as this remark came out, it was deposited for a while, and then supported together. If they are all seated, then no one loses, they are all winners, and there is no need to worry about which side to support. The defeat will be made difficult for later. Emperor Lu Hua turned his head and smiled at Qing Niu Lao Dao, then glanced at Changfeng's sword god. "Indicate that it's time to make a statement." The old man Qing Niu said secretly, "Lu Hua, you are not afraid that I will kick you aside if I sit in this position." Chapter 53-37. Wan Dao Sword Sovereign, what he said is reasonable. When the time comes, the two will each hold half and kick him aside. It is really possible. However, Lu Hua had already planned in his heart. He had said to Changfeng tactfully, once he didn't support him, Changfeng would not be able to fight the Blue Bull. As for Qing Niu Lao Dao, although he has one half of it, what he wants is the complete Senate Palace. From now on, true spirit will hold them to a high position. The temptation of the Senate Palace is too great. When Lu Hua and Changfeng join forces, he has only one way to win. That is to win Lu Hua. As for Changfeng, he couldn't win it, and he couldn't win it. "Brother Qing Niu, everything is for the Senate Palace, I am fine." Hearing this sentence, Qing Niu compromised. Next, he and Chang Feng announced at the same time that the Senator Palace had set up 3 palace masters, regardless of front and back. Qing Niu, Chang Feng, and Lu Hua are in charge of the Palace of the Elders. The cheers in the palace formed a sharp contrast with the emperors outside. The emperors of the primitive universe have been still on an island ever since they arrived at the Senate Palace. Now that the interior is stable, Wu Zhuo personally arranges these people. Among the more than 10,000 emperors, except for a few third-order and fourth-order emperors who were sent to the Tomb of the Gods, the others were all scattered and assigned to the strong men of the Yuan Lao Palace, and went to the northern border to sit in various big states. The emperor who was selected went to the Tomb Mountain in the secret realm of the Tomb of the Gods. These people are worth training. Among them are Zhenuyang and Tongtian Buddha, as well as some third-order emperors of immeasurable Buddha. The leaders of the major peak strengths naturally went together. Those who go with these people are the ultimate Taoists. When these people went to the Tomb Mountain, the trial of the primitive world also ushered in the final link. Primitive world. The original star of Jiajiao, Beiqing. Today, only Huiqing is left on the wall. Now the only complete city wall is Huiqing and Wanqing. Wanqing broke through again, completely stabilized the origin of Wandao, and its strength jumped again. But Huiqing has undergone a transformation. Reincarnation is utterly absent. Every time the source rises one level, there is a reincarnation. Today's Huiqing is no longer as simple as the emperor. Jian Wushuang's disappearance did not arouse too many people's attention, but Huiqing, who was most familiar with Jian Wushuang in the entire primordial realm, naturally put it in his heart. It was learned from Qiu Huang that Jian Wushuang was likely to fall, and for a while, he had mixed feelings in his heart. Brother Wushuang. Seeing the black mist outside the city wall approaching, Huiqing's breath remained motionless, stepped out one step, and muttered to the sky, "You can't finish the road, it'll go for you," boom. As soon as the voice fell, the magic circle above his head suddenly exploded. The silver long stick is invincible across the battlefield. The black mist finally condensed into a towering demon, with 9 stars on the brows. This is the devouring demon comparable to the second-order emperor. But Huiqing's burst of strength was no weaker than the opponent. His long stick was like a rainbow, and his aura was indelible. Another city wall burst out with dazzling light. After all, Wang Xing's strength was still a little bit weaker. Although there were back and forth with the Demon King, but the breath was weak. However, this original star has exceeded the budget of the Vermilion Bird Palace. You know, many trialers on primordial stars have already begun to evacuate, because no one has reached the last wave. The first 9 waves are considered screenings. The next 10 times are real trials, allowing the trialists to continuously break through. Each wave can make the trial have a significant improvement, and Dao Jun has half the battle power of the Emperor after passing the first 3 waves. The 6th wave will be comparable to the Emperor, and the 7th wave will have the power to kill the Emperor. The 8th wave is 1 battle 3. Fight with 3 monarch-level devourers. The last wave is the second-order Emperor who is against the sky. Let a Dian immortal go to kill the second-order Emperor. Moreover, this second-tier Emperor is not ordinary, much stronger than the native emperors of the 4 great secret realms, and is already regarded as the top emperor in the second tier. In the primordial realm, half of the 180 primitive stars are migrating. For each primordial star, only 100 people were really picked, and all of them were Taoists. The other half are in trials, and these primordial stars that are still in trials are even stronger. One of them, Dao Monarch Juyen, who still has some friendship with Jian Wushuang, is also trying out at this time. He and Wanqing have similar opportunities, and they are all exchanged for imitation eternal treasures. Strength has been promoted. Even the ultimate Taoist was defeated, he still insisted. The Vermilion Bird Hall had rarely appeared outside the original star, and Zhu Yi personally guarded it. Many primordial stars have been moved to the treasure house. Don't look at the dead silence above, the inside is a real treasure. A primordial star is more precious than the eternal treasure. Looking at the things above, you can see that on the geoprimitive star, that feather is the trophy of that primitive star. The owner of that feather is an incredible special being. The divine body has reached its true limit, and its body has expanded to the size of a world. In the end, it fell under the original stars. Primitive stars, in fact, have 3,600 stars, which are the core of a large array. Each one is more precious than the eternal treasure. The array of 3,600 primitive stars is much stronger, unimaginable. Anyway, even that powerful special life has fallen here. Hallmaster, His Highness Wu's, was sent a message over there, saying that he was taking the emperor to the Tomb Mountain. Should we wait for us and go together? Zhu Qi cautiously spread the word beside. When Shan Jun was in prison, she also went to beg for mercy, but this time it was an order from the real spirit. Zhu Yi had no choice but to slow down first and then mention it later. Now that Shan Jun has just entered, it would be difficult for her to intercede because of Zhu Qi. With the character of the true spirit, in fact, Shan Jun himself would just bow his head, but Wu's war is not the same. Bow his head, everything is easy to say. Now the 4 secret realms are mixed. Now that she is asked to intercede, the true spirit must kill her. Last time, I took away a magic mountain and sent Shan Jun to the second prison. I am afraid that all of this was calculated by the real spirit, waiting for her to intercede, and then slaughter her once. This is why she gave so many benefits to the palace of the elders in vain, all for the real spirit to see. Zhu Yi suddenly felt a headache, waved his hand and said, "Tell Wu's we don't have to wait, let the emperor go in first." Yes. After Zhu Qi answered respectfully, she disappeared. There are already tens of thousands of people sitting in the Vermilion Bird Palace today, all of whom are at the level of Taoist monarch. The other half did not come out. There were almost 20,000 in total. Among them, there are more than 200 ultimate beings, and almost only 1 out of 100 is a practitioner of the ultimate path. This is almost the same as the previous budget. You can't just recruit the ultimate existence. That would be too wasteful. After these people are sent away, Xuanwu Temple will send hundreds of millions of practitioners to come. The number of Yanxian can be hundreds of millions of times more than Dianxian. After screening in the Xuanwu Hall and helping them to break through, they will be sent to the Vermilion Bird Hall. After screening in the Vermilion Bird Hall, they will be sent to the 4 secret realms of the White Tiger Hall. Chapter 53-38. After the trial of, the Emperor will be sent to the Azure Dragon Palace after screening. It's just that now in the Azure Dragon Palace, if you don't fight outside, it's useless to send it over, so you've got 4 secret realms. This is a closed loop. Is also the rule set by the of the gods. In this way, the strong can be continuously selected, and the glory of the gods can be recondensed. Zhu San, you go to the Xuanwu Hall to pick up people, and Zhu Si, you go to the treasure house to choose a flying treasure and take them to the tomb of the gods. Be sure to hand it over to the people in the White Tiger Hall safely. She also heard about Jian Wushuang. This is not a small loss, but also a warning. The 4 secret realms are no longer the 4 secret realms they used to be. Now the inside is rotten, and there is still a force in private who wants to overthrow the Temple of Qishan. Inheritors are the future powerhouses of Qishan Temple, so there must be no accidents. The last time it was Jian Wushuang alone, it was because Jian Wushuang, an inheritor, went to the 4 secret realms. This time there are 20,000 people. For those people, even a billion-dollar prince is no different from a single one, and can die at hand. To send these inheritors, it is natural to use some powerful treasures. The ultimate eternal treasure of the palace category is a must. Like the Tower of Eternity, the 4th Order Emperor can resist the attack of the 5th Order Emperor when entering. Supreme Eternal Treasure, it is able to put an end to the attack of the peak powerhouse. As for why she went to deliver it in person, it was because she had more important things. She wants to develop a screening venue for the next group of people. This time it was a primordial star, so next time it might be an ancient continent or a dead starry sky. Is possible. In the hall at this time, inheritors are constantly coming, and those who can come here are all inheritors. The ones that have not come either have fallen or have been assembled to other places, ready to send them all out. the core of the primitive world. On a floating continent, there are millions of testers here. Most of them have retired after the 9th wave. Although they have a lot of strength, they are still the ultimate eternal fairy, but they are not qualified to become inheritors. Your trial is over. Later, you will all be teleported out of the Temple of Forbidding. Those who come there will go back there. The cold voice was like pouring them a basin of cold water. Am not reconciled, I already have a half-step master, give me another chance. Someone said unwillingly. Some other strong players couldn't help but speak. But that voice didn't respond to them at all. I knew it, I should have been fighting. I'm almost a little bit. The 11th wave is too difficult. Some are upset and some are plain. Some Dian Immortals were not only top-level combat power when they came in, but now they have become the ultimate powerhouse, and they have also obtained many treasures, and even gathered all the innate treasures, and exchanged their unique skills. After going out, they may not be better than others. The most important thing is the Temple of Chishan, which gave them a sense of harmony, which is the same as the emperors of Desiugat. Their strength is not weak anymore, especially those who are strong at the 2nd rank origin, as long as they get together successfully after going out. The 3rd tier is not difficult, and the 4th tier is also promising. In sharp contrast with this place are the inheritors in the Suzuka Hall. Now gathered together, some people who knew each other began to talk about their own situation. Many people also met and chatted with each other. After all, they are no longer in Primordial Star. They don't have any fighting anymore. They have become very peaceful. Some people have changed from start to finish, their strength, breath, and appearance. Jian Daojun came to the main hall somewhat to the end. He failed in the 19th wave, and with so much luck he finally lost. After came here, he glanced around, but none of the people in the world of Buddha could see it. Where are Huiqing and Wushuang brother? The strength of these two people is not weak. He has seen the ranking, and Huiqing's ranking is higher than him. The list is still hanging above the Suzuka Palace. Ranked number 1 is a powerful being called Light, who has mastered the ultimate way and ranked first. Is the first existence to pass the 19th wave. I heard it took only a quarter of an hour. The number 1 is also worthy of the name, and the ultimate way he has mastered is very terrifying. It is the light way. Is a powerful source comparable to the power of destruction. But soon the rankings began to change. It's been a long time now, and it's almost a crucial moment for the victory or defeat. Yep. Jian Daojun narrowed his eyes and saw Huiqing's ranking. In a straight line on the upper body, and finally fixed in the 19th place, and then the 20th is the 10,000 star emperor. The two cleared the level almost at the same time. After receiving the reward, they entered Qiuhuang City and teleported to the Vermilion Bird Palace together. Ji Chaoyang has been chatting all the way, but Huiqing has no joy. Their original star is also special. The 3 ultimate ways are all 9 ranked Dian Immortals. When he and Jian Wushuang first entered the primitive star, they were not even the top Dian Immortals, and their strength was very weak. Now, 30 years have passed in an instant. The strength has reached the level of the Emperor, and even the second-order Emperor can be killed. It's a pity that Jian Wushuang is gone. If Ji Chaoyang breaks through, he can also kill the second-order Emperor, but it is a pity that it is too difficult to break through, and it can't be done by tempering. Huiqing still has no breakthrough. Wanxing has the most breakthroughs, and breakthroughs have been made in almost every wave. Originally, he couldn't hold the 18th wave, but finally broke through, and almost lost in the last wave. But when it was critical, his aura became stronger and stronger. He actually reached the point of continuous flow, and cut it off in one bite. The Demon King. After entering the Vermilion Bird Palace, Huiqing saw Daojun Juyan, and the two stepped forward to talk. Soon all the original stars are over. More than 20,000 Taoists gathered here. Huiqing, you have changed so much. When you were in Chishui Hall, you were still rank 6 Dian Immortal, Brother Wushuang was only rank 3, but in a blink of an eye, you all would kill the second-order emperor. So did Jiu Yen. Joy from the heart. After all, he was there, and Huiqing was the one who was really himself. There are countless worlds in the entire universe, and many worlds do not even have a single inheritor. There are actually 2 in the world of Tongtian Buddhism, and it is still a medium-sized world. How difficult it is. Hui Qing shook her head and sighed. Unfortunately, Brother Wushuang is gone. Thus, if Brother Wushuang is still there, even if the 4 of us go to the Tomb Mountain, we will be a generation hegemon. Although Ji Chaoyang was a little sad, there was still optimism in the voice. Tier Heaven Dao Jun stood alone in the corner, listening to Hui Qing's conversation with light in his eyes. Jian Wushuang fell. For him, that was a great thing. He couldn't wait to take out the mustard seeds and distribute it to everyone. Without the pressure of Jian Wushuang, he broke through all the way and reached a level comparable to that of the emperor. The future is infinite. It's just a pity that the beast is a magic weapon. I don't know if I can get it back. But all of this is a story. https://mobile version reading URL. Chapter 53-39. The Vermilion Bird Palace revolved, and these inheritors soon went to another palace. Their journey has just begun. Primordial stars are just the starting point. Their path is still very long, but they are close to the place where the dream begins. Tens of thousands of years passed in a blink of an eye. For secret realms. Earth boundary. Savage place. Great Xia ancient country. A sacrifice is being held in a wild mountain range. The scarlet arrogance rose, making everything in the valley very strange. On the altar, several masked monks in red are maintaining order. Because in addition to them, there are thousands of Daojun and countless mundane practitioners also gathered here. And they are the objects of blood sacrifice. Young sect master, everything is ready. The red robe envoy said respectfully. Hidden in the mountain, a masked man in black armor with no breath at all slowly walked out of the void. Only a look made these red-robed deacons tremble. Although they have only started to follow the young sect master in the last 1,000 years, they are extremely afraid of this young sect master. Because of this young sect master, he has sacrificed countless Dao monarchs in blood within 1,000 years, and he has never let go of even the common customs, and his combat power is unfathomable. Once killed a second-order emperor instantly, so that the other party had no chance to fight back. Let's start. The black armor-masked young master's voice is low but cruel. The imprisoned monk below, staring at the red-robed deacon above with anger, especially when he saw the black-armored young master, he hated his bones. You are imprisoning this seat, I am Daxia's 9 princes, you are looking for death. A burly, resolute young man roared, his strength is also the strongest of these people, he has reached the level of a half-step emperor. But here, any red-robed deacon is an existence comparable to the emperor, and they can't resist at all. After the young sect master standing at the top heard these words, his eyes moved, as if thinking of something funny again, his arms slightly lifted and his finger moved. The red-robed deacon behind him, instantly aware, took a palm shot, turned into a black mist and instantly enveloped the young man who claimed to be the 9th prince of Great Xia. The black mist envelopes the 9th prince, but in an instant he arrived in front of the young sect master. Daxia's 9 princes, it's a bit interesting. I heard that Daxia is planning to aggressively attack the Maluo kingdom, but there is such a thing. The voice of young Master Heijia was very playful, and he did not take the person in front of him seriously, like it's like looking at a prey. At first, the 9th prince was still very hard-spirited. After all, he was Daxia's 9th prince. He was in a high position since he was a child, and he was used to overpowering others. But when he arrived in front of the black-armored young master, he didn't know what happened, he couldn't get up anymore, his eyes still leaked fear, and his heart shrank into a ball. Originally didn't want to answer, but when he saw those gloomy eyes, he hesitated and said, "Yes, there is such a thing. Exterminate the demon cult? The name of this battle is very in line with God's will." The young black-armored sect master stretched out his claws and directly pinched the head of the 9 princes of Daxia, and countless pictures came into his mind in an instant. After almost 3 breaths, the black-armored young sect master slowly let go. It's just that the one in his hand has turned into a corpse. The origin, the divine body, and even the memory and his cultivation skills were all wiped out, leaving a withered body. From now on, I will be him, the 9 princes of Daxia ancient kingdom, Xia Mang Guanyu. As soon as the voice fell, the Hongpao deacon officially opened the blood sacrifice array. Countless people were teleported to the altar. Everyone's faces are full of death. The realm is too chaotic. Every day there are demon heads performing blood sacrifices. There are constant battles between the ancient countries. The environment of the monks is very bad. Even some sects that have been passed down for hundreds of millions of years may be destroyed overnight. Even the temple where the gods are stationed will be attacked. What's more, they are all beings. Am I going to die? A teenager muttered to himself. His face is not dead, but some are worried. Hongdeacon shouted, "Quickly, pour in the blood of the gods and the crystals, don't stop for a moment." When these people are busy, the young sect master hugs his arms around him, hovering in the air a battle high above the ground, watching all this quietly. The blood poured in, the world faded. Countless people swarmed in it. The young man wiped the blood from his face. He tried his best to endure the weakness of his body. He firmly grasped a puppet with a name engraved on it. It seems that the name is a girl. That is his sister. The two depend on each other for fate. He is just a mundane during the refining period. If you want to survive in the realm, you must have a backing. In order to support his sister, he worked as a coolie in a mundane sect. He originally thought to be a backer, but in the end, the sect was burdened. Everyone went up to the sect master and down to the disciple coolies. "I'm fine when I die, but my sister is still young." The boy's eyes were red, and tears flowed out in the next moment. He is not afraid of death, he is afraid that he is dead, no one will protect his sister. The sect was destroyed, and his sister was still waiting for him to go home in the back mountain, but he can't go back now, and can't go back again. With the blood boiling, the boy gradually softened to the altar. Although his strength is weak, his willpower is terribly strong, and he can actually fall with those Mahayana monks. When fell, in the blood and tears, he thought of scenes from when he was a child. In a small courtyard, his father is a hunter. He went hunting in the mountains to feed his family, and he was nourished, and he was still an only child. When I was a child, my father brought my sister back on the mountain. "Xiao Fan, you have a sister. Xiao Fan, you have to remember that you are a man, you have to protect your sister and mother. Come, pick up the knife, and continue practicing." Then the beasts attacked the village. The parents rushed into the beast tide to protect him and his sister. Xiao Fan. 2 brothers and sisters left their homes, begging all the way for a living. Fortunately, he has practiced martial arts since he was a child. Whether he is a coolie or a domestic slave, he has a bite to eat. But now without him, what should the little girl do? "Brother, go home." When the boy closed his eyes in the last scene, his sister was standing at the gate of the fenced courtyard, holding a bowl of clear water, waiting for him to return home. Someone keeps falling down in the altar. Now even the earth's celestial beings have fallen, and then the heavenly celestial beings, and the powerful Taoist among the celestial beings. The strength of the land boundary is still divided according to the name of the most ancient era. Dian Immortal is a heavenly immortal in the earth boundary, Yenxian is an earth immortal, and Mahayana is an ancestral realm. The Lord of Mortals is also the Mahayana of mortals. Young Master Heijia, his eyes changed and a touch of surprise came out, turning his head to look north. This scene scared Deacon Hongpao jumped. This young sect master is a fearless lord, even he was taken aback. Could it be that a powerful emperor is here? https://mobile version reading URL. Chapter 5340. Wan Dao Sword Sovereign. The young master Black Jia coldly said, "You go first. The sacrifice has already begun, and these red-robed deacons are useless, and staying here will reveal their identity. They are all strong men of some sects, and they were dispatched here for the blood sacrifice this time, and they usually didn't meet each other. Except for him, no one knows the true identity of these people." The several red deacons respectfully took orders. A tiny small formation rose up, these deacons entered it, and were instantly moved hundreds of millions of miles away, and their breath disappeared instantly. In today's valley, there is only this young sect master. Inside the altar, there was now a mess, with only a few bones left. From the altar, a faint source emerged, which cannot be said to be the source, but a force that has never been seen before, and it contains all things in the world. It's too little. The power is also average, only comparable to ordinary emperor origin. After reaching out and grasping this source, the black armor young sect master leaked a trace of strange color in his eyes. Can't help but growl, "Old guy, you are not the last time, why is it not enough?" A surprising scene appeared, and a ghost flew out of the black-armored young sect master's body, floating in the air. "I can't blame me, this time the sacrifices are too weak. If it is a fourth-order emperor, one will do," the ghost said aggrievedly. The young sect master Heijia had a look of disgust, and he pulled the weak source in his hand and threw it to the ghost. "You really dare to say that the fourth-order emperor is here, and we all have to die?" The ghost leaked a smile and quickly flattered, "How come, with your current strength, can't you escape if you can't beat it?" It's simple." Young black-armored sect master lazily paid attention, and then said, "Come in quickly, someone is coming here, the strength is not weak." "Oh." Hearing these words, the ghost leaked a meaningful expression. "If the strength is not weak, it means that you can fight or even kill." After seeing the other party's thoughts, young Master Heijia sighed, "It's not someone else who is here, it's an acquaintance, let's go." After hearing these words, the ghost didn't dare to say anything more, and re-entered the body of young black-armored sect master. A black-clothed monk head, extremely fast, arrived in this valley in an instant after the black-armored young master left. Looking at the blood-colored altar on the ground, the black-robed monk's face leaked anger. With her generous sleeves swaying, a 12 or 13-year-old girl, clutching his thigh, did not dare to look at the blood-colored altar. When looking down at the girl, the head of the monk leaked a smile. He had been in this situation once, and the man gave him a smile to make him feel at ease. "Brother." The little girl in ragged clothes had clear eyes, and when she looked at the blood-colored altar, her heart leaked uneasy. The surrounding breath tears through the world, and the ordinary cannot stay here forever. The head of the monk shook his head and waved his hand to take away the breath of the world, leaving only a bald altar with solidified blood on top. The two landed slowly, and as soon as they landed, the little girl rushed to the ring. She could feel that his brother seemed to have been here. "I don't know what I tripped over." The little girl stood up hard with both hands on her back, looking at the bulge behind her. The head of the monk stood on the side and did not stop him. With his identity and strength, he could see the past and future of the little girl at a glance. Although it was once poor, it was a ray of light. The future is turbid, and even if he will take in this little girl, her future is hard to predict. He closed his eyes slightly, and for a moment countless pairs of eyes stared here. The sacrifice here has destroyed so many people, it can cause such a large cause and effect, but he can't see who is here to sacrifice. When she opened her eyes again and looked at the little girl, there was pity in her eyes. The little girl was just a microcosm of the countless pairs of eyes, and at the same time, there were still many people in the same situation as the little girl. Not afraid of cause and effect, obviously a monk of the magic way. At some point, there was a puppet in the little girl's hand, with slanted writing on it. It was left by his brother before he died. "Sister, stay alive." This is what he left behind with all his might before he died, but for some reason it was not destroyed. If the young sect master knew, he would be surprised. Maybe he is surprised now. On the cliff of the valley, a person in a void in the void, staring coldly at the puppet in the little girl's hand. "Old man, are you really that serious? You and I will kill you." It seems that this is the evil result of the sacrifice. I have already felt a sense of anxiety in my heart. It seems that this is the thing. Even the sacrifice can't be destroyed. Hidden here is the young black-armored sect master. Forget it, as long as you reshape a source for you, you can get rid of it completely. I hate this kind of day. The voice of the old man in the body sounded again, and he said in a low voice, "No matter what, kill this person first. He is just a Taoist, there is nothing to be afraid of. You are teaching me to do things." The young Master Hejia's voice was cold and stern. The person in his body was taken aback. How could the usually cold-blooded young sect master hesitate? No, I just suggest to get rid of that puppet. There is a cause and effect of you and me above it, don't keep it. Sect Master Heijia didn't pay attention, but kept his eyes on the monk head, and finally shook his head. On the altar, the little girl knelt on the ground and sobbed. The monk's first step came, knelt down and patted the shoulder and said, "Don't live up to your brother's long-cherished wish." The little girl raised her head, looked at the head of the monk, and then said, "Why did my brother die?" The head of the monk was stunned for a moment, a little stunned for a moment, because he found that the little girl's future changed again, and it was still muddy, but now it has turned into darkness. It seems that there will be another extraordinary figure in this world. Of course, this refers to the ancient country of Great Xia. Let's go, I'll take you to see. The head of the monk took the little girl's hand and rose into the air. The two of them left in an instant. After disappearing completely, the young black-armored sect master, who was hidden in the void, slowly appeared. Looking at the place where the other party disappeared, there was a trace of longing in his eyes. "Huiqing, long time no see." His voice was very low, and he didn't have the coldness of the past. But the black armor concealed into the body, put on a black robe, and slowly took off the mask. This black-armored young sect master is the Jian Wushuang, who has disappeared for thousands of years. The hair became white at this moment. "You are crazy, don't be afraid that someone will see it." The voice in the body sounded again. Jian Wushuang's eyes changed sharply in an instant, and he shouted angrily, "Shut up for me." That person was not someone else, it was the White King who took him away. Chapter 53-41. Wan Dao Sword Sovereign. After being looted at that time, I thought that the other party would kill him directly, but I didn't expect this old guy to actually want to take him away. Just kidding, his Dao is a unique extreme Dao. Even if the opponent is an absolute powerhouse, he can't win the home. Eventually, he merged into one by accident. I had no choice but to swear to live in the same body for the time being. But this is not a long-term solution. The White King wanted to reconsolidate a source that did not belong to the Temple of Qishan, and wanted to cultivate to the Sixth Order Emperor again. The sacrifice of Jian Wushuang Mandi realm is to refine the origin for the opponent. It was still a little bit close now. As long as he helped King by refining a new source, the opponent would be able to escape from his body. If they violate the oath, both of them will collapse the road. He was used to this kind of life originally, but now that he sees Huiqing, he also wants to go to the Tomb Mountain with those inheritors. This is his holy place for spiritual practice, with inexhaustible resources. There is also the old horned man who agreed to refine the beast weapon for him, and it is estimated that the other party has already felt that he has fallen. King Bai turned his eyes and said in a low voice, "Jian Wushuang, don't feel sad. You only need to follow the great gods to ensure that your cultivation speed is much faster than those of inheritors." These words are not empty words. Although he has been busy with blood sacrifices for 1,000 years, his cultivation has not fallen. In the realm, a mysterious organization Ka is the young master of it. The once promised him that as long as he breaks through the emperor, he can become the leader of the Kuei organization and control the realm. This hidden force is very large. Just at one of the halls that Jian Wushuang knew, there were 2 Sixth Order emperors sitting in the town, one bright and one dark. What is clear is an ancient sect, but the dark place is disturbing the world, and the surrounding forces are working together to clear the temple. The land boundary. The temple is located in Tianzhou, which is the core area of the entire continent. The rest of Tiannan, Tianbei, Eastern region, and Western region were all in chaos, and the temple had to be driven away. The status of young sect master has a high status in the K organization, surpassing ordinary emperors, and is similar to the status of Fourth Order emperors. To confirm the identity, mainly depends on the token. Now the token in Jianhui's hands is a third-tier token. Generally, only the fourth-order emperor with great merit can obtain this token, the fifth-order emperor is the second rank, and the sixth-order emperor is the first rank. There is also the legendary super first grade, once the White King was at that level. With this third-rank token, Jian Wushuang can contact the local emperor and the powerful Taoist to help him no matter where he reaches the boundary. This time the blood sacrifice mobilized the Kuei organization in Daxiagu. A second-rank elder summoned, "Your treasure is here." King Bai reminded. Jian Wushuang didn't answer, he turned into the dead Daxia ninth prince. At the same time, in the ancestral temple of the Great Xia ancient kingdom, the emperor who was responsible for guarding the soul lamp saw the ninth soul lamp at the top lit up again, and he took a deep breath. In some places the soul lamp could be covered. At first he thought that the 9 princes had fallen, so he had to report. Fortunately, there was a rule that the soul lamp would go out for a quarter of an hour before reporting. Jian Wushuang, who had become the 9 princes of the Great Xia kingdom, instantly disappeared in place like a phantom, and headed to the imperial capital of the Great Xia Kingdom. Summer. In the southern part of Tianan, it can be regarded as a super dynasty. The first emperor who opened up the kingdom was a sixth-order emperor. After he abdicated, he has been in retreat for many years. The emperor of today's Daxia is a young fifth-order emperor, with average combat power and average potential, but he has a brilliant strategy in management. In the Daxia clan, no one respected him. In the clan, in addition to this emperor, there are also ancestors and several elders, all of whom are fifth-order emperors. If you can't convince the crowd, it's just a puppet. Great Xia State Capital. This super city is like a giant lying on the ground. The 16 gates are open, and there are hundreds of millions of people entering and leaving every day. With so many powerful people gathering, the capital is naturally prosperous and lively. Especially a place for the strong to have fun. There are many crazy practitioners in the realm, and there are more lazy practitioners. It's hard to grow up under the shadow of the fathers, especially in this tempting city. East City. The most affluent and lively place. Jian Wushuang took advantage of the identity of the 9th prince, Xia Mangguanyu, to come to the capital. Although it was very conspicuous, it was hidden deep enough. This was the real big hidden in the dynasty. In addition to being strong, the benefits of the super-quality physical body also have many ways to help him, such as the means of change. When he was in the Shangqing Palace, the Broly he saw was a change of cultivation way, and the other party was getting stronger and stronger. What he has become like, now that he has turned into this 9 prince, even the founding emperor can't detect it, unless he is dragging his origin to examine it carefully. The average 5th-order emperor, let alone, the origin is placed on the opponent's face, and it may not be able to see it. Learning the way Xia Mangguanyu remembered, he swaggered into the capital. A quarter of an hour before long, a gang of eagle dogs from the palace came to guard them. He had swallowed the memory of the other party before. Although the mother of the 9th prince was not a queen, her background was not ordinary. He came from a big family. His grandfather was a powerful 5th-order emperor, and several uncles were also 4th-order emperors. The ruling and opposition parties are very powerful. In addition, the mother's own strength is also the pinnacle of Tier 4, the strongest in the harem. There is only one son like him, so Xia Mangguanyu has been domineering since he was a child. It's a pity that this time, I hit him on the head. He completed the trial of the clan in a remote county, and he gave it to him in a pot, and he passed it directly. Jian Wushuang didn't care about these intertwined forces. If necessary, it only takes a little time, and it is not a problem to destroy the entire Daxia. It's just that there is no need and there is no time. He wouldn't be so boring. His Royal Highness, are we going to Firefox Palace? Do you want me to ask Fairy Firefox to arrange it first? The leader of the guard, who was also his bodyguard, asked. The clan's trial is cruel. No matter how high the status is, you must accept the trial. If you fail the trial, your status will decline. If you pass the trial, you will get a treasure and support for future treasures. He has the support of his mother and grandpa, and there is no shortage of treasures. If he didn't make trouble in this trial, it would have been over. It's just that these people are too unlucky, and the place of trial is actually near his retreat, and they are looted away. The guard leader knew that His Highness, every time he returned from the trial, he would go to the Firefox Palace to get angry. It's a life-and-death fight all day long, and it's very stressful. Every time I pass, I have to take it easy. Chapter 53-42. One Dao Sword Sovereign, no need. Jian Wushuang replied lightly. Firefox Palace is a brothel where monks grow up, and there are often Taoists and emperors to consume. Those young girls of the Humei clan who have been trained, even the emperor will not be able to control them. Of course, the price is also very expensive. A fox girl in the Mahayana realm needs thousands of crystals, and even tens of thousands in the Earth Fairy realm. After all, the cost of cultivating a fox and charming girl in the Mahayana realm is extraordinary. The entire Fox family was not suppressed because of the existence of the Firefox Palace. Instead, they got a county town to help Daxia guard the frontier and confront the Maluo kingdom. Speaking of which, this fox clan was originally accepted by Xia Mangguanyu's grandfather. He went to the Firefox Palace to be happy, and it was the highest treatment. The emperor can't afford to play with the hundreds of thousands of gods of the fairy fox clan girl. He only needs to hook a hand and there will be a number of arrivals. Even the legendary emperor-level fox saint, he almost slammed the bow. Unfortunately, it was not an opponent, and Xia Mangguanyu did not succeed. Since then, the saint dare not come to the capital again. There was that scene in Jian Wushuang's memory, and a strange color leaked from his eyes. In less than a quarter of an hour, he arrived at the Firefox Palace in his memory. Coming here is not only because of Xia Mangguanyu's habit, but Jian Wushuang did come here for other things. The treasure he needs has been delivered. The place agreed by the other party is this Firefox Palace. Firefox Palace is located by the most prosperous lake. A 9-story tower is majestic. As it is getting darker today, the tower is brightly lit. His Royal Highness, you once say a word in advance when you come. Before entering the door, I heard a soft and feminine voice. The voice fell, and a coquettish woman in a red fairy dress came out. She was the palace lord of the first 3 floors of Firefox Palace, and a powerful emperor. According to the description in the memory, the palace lord had a leg with Xia Mangguanyu. So when the other party's soft body leaned over, he also unscrupulously touched a few, and then said playfully, "Old rules, Tianzi number 1 room." His Royal Highness, why do you have to go to the 6th floor when you first come here? It's better to play with the slave house for a while. After Jian Wushuang heard these words, his whole body was shivering, especially the softness on his arms. How strong his mood is, how can he be confused by this kind of strategy? No, I have an appointment to talk about something here. Jian Wushuang pulled out his arm and directly led the person into the room behind a door. The palace owner was a bit embarrassed, because the name of Tian had already been set, but the name of Tian was not in her control, and the trouble was left to the palace director of the middle 3rd floor. Come to the 6th floor, here is like a huge patio. He also knew these 3-tier palace masters, but only knew them, because the palace lord here has the highest strength among the 4th order emperors, and there are rumors that the palace lord here has a relationship with the prince. The prince of the dynasty had just succeeded in joining forces and became a 3rd order emperor with extremely strong combat power. The power is naturally very large, although he relied on the power behind his mother to show off his power, but in front of the prince, he was still a lot worse. He is a toothless wolf, and the opponent is a carp that transforms into a dragon. Snapped. After everyone reached the 6th floor, they went straight to room number 1 Tianzi. Before Jian Wushuang reached the door, he found that there was already someone inside. If it was his character, someone would change it, but the temper of my 9 princes is not like this. Someone, then you have to see who it is first. If it is a casual cultivator with a low status, just shoot it out. Snapped. Jian Wu's palms just touched the door, but someone inside opened it by himself. I've seen the slave and maid, Your Majesty the 9th prince. It was Du Sherngyang, the palace owner on the third floor, who opened the door. Jian Wushuang moved slightly, a trace of thought power entered the room, and instantly understood. It turned out that sitting inside was his elder brother, His Royal Highness. No wonder I'm being stopped below, it turns out there are people here. According to the description in the memory, the prince seldom came here. As long as he came here, he would surely let Du Sherngyang accompany him. It seems that I have broken through now, come here to be cool. Brother 9, since I'm here, let's do it together. In the room, the prince's voice was smiling. Jian Wushuang frowned slightly, leaking a look of embarrassment, and then said without rush, I'm harassing the emperor, brother, but I have something to do, so I won't do it together. I will go to the East Palace and meet the emperor next day. A narration. After leaving this sentence, Jian Wushuang glanced at this Du Sherngyang, and it was as beautiful as he remembered. It's no wonder that a talent like the prince will put down his body and come to this place of red dust. When leaving Tianzi No. 1, Jian Wushuang directly asked King Bai to tell the Fifth Order Emperor that he changed to room number 7. In fact, every room is the same, just like their domineering kid, who loves face. After entering, it is completely a private space. In the front, you can see the bottom of the patio www.novel.com. There are a group of fox and charming girls dancing, just like a fright. You all go out, you are not allowed to come in without my order. Jian Wushuang waved his hand, and after ordering to go down, he sat directly on the soft throne. The whole person was slumped on the action, and his eyes were softly staring down. Why, it's all here, don't you find a fox girl to play with? King Bai laughed. Since possessing Jian Wushuang, he discovered that Jian Wushuang was like a eunuch, and he knew about cultivation, and it was a very unique kind of cultivation. Everything is up with resources. Jian Wushuang, who hadn't been so relaxed for a long time, laughed at himself and said, Woman, only the sword that will affect you. The two chatted with each other, but an old man with white hair like a waterfall came to the outside world. He entered the room next to Jian Wushuang. Just when I entered the room, I saw the guard next to him stunned. Isn't this his grandson's obedience? How could he be here? Could it be that? He couldn't believe it. However, nothing was revealed. The guards also recognized this person, Xinyuan Depan, the grandfather of the 9th prince, the of war at the time, screamed for battle. The top figure of the Xinyuan family, known as the 5th master of Xinyuan, ranked 5th among his peers, but first in strength. There were many 5th order emperors who fell in his hands with the strength of the 5th tier peak. This Firefox Palace was established because of him. This 5th master has a hobby, that is double cultivation. The entire Firefox Palace, like it was built for him, will appear here almost all year round, but he usually goes to the 9th floor, where there is a complete Daojuan level cauldron. I don't know why it will be in Tianziho today, and it's still in him. Next door to his grandson. Naturally, these guards did not dare to ask more, and after respecting the meeting, they were silent. Chapter 53-43. Wan Dao Sword Sovereign. The other party is here, it's a second-rank elder, and the only second-rank elder in the capital. After receiving the information from the other party, King Bai still had a hint of surprise on his face. It's him? Xinyuan Depan. It was a coincidence that he was the grandfather of the 9th prince. Xinyuan Depan next door also asked about it, and Xia Mangguanyu was alone next door. It's not that a family does not enter a door. He had never expected that the grandson who had not accomplished enough to do more than ever had this ability. He was actually the young sect master of the Kuei organization, with a 3rd-grade token. In a simple formation, a mustard seed appeared, and inside it was the treasure Jian Wushuang needed. Even if it is a father and son, the rules cannot be broken. After Xinyuan Depan finished all this, he could not find Xia Mangguanyu. He glanced casually at the fox girl below, revealing the color of greed. After checking the treasures in the mustard seeds, Jian Wu's eyes were filled with joy. In the past 1,000 years, the biggest receipt has been it. In addition to these things, he also got the black armor given by the at first, which was the armor of the candle dragon. It is an extremely critical component of the Beast God Soldier, and it is precisely because of this Candle Dragon armor that he chose to join the Kuei organization. Then it got deeper and deeper. The defensive power of this Candle Dragon armor is comparable to the Eternal Treasure, second only to the Eye of the Candle Dragon. It's just the Eye of the Candle Dragon with the Beast God realm, and it's the only treasure that still carries the Beast God's origin on it. Jian Wushuang turned over and took out a token from the mustard seeds. Compared with the armor of the Candle Dragon, this token is his most valuable treasure. It can't be said to be a treasure, but a secret thing is recorded in the token. It is information about Candle Dragon accessories. The Kuei organization in the realm has been collecting information about the accessories of the beasts for thousands of years, and now it has finally found it. Mo Luo Kingdom, the first Prince Rasha, the arm of the Candle Dragon, which is a suspected eternal beast weapon accessory, has entered the Fourth Order Emperor. In the northern part of the heavens, there is an inheritor who confirms that he has the claws of the Candle Dragon. The strength can kill the First Order Emperor. The Tomb of the Gods, a special being, contains the heart of the Beast God. Absolute strength. Seeing these three pieces of news, Jian Wushuang leaked a look of shock. I didn't expect it to be collected. In addition to the realm, even other secret realm news has been sent. It seems to be the meaning of the god. The heaven realm person should be the Tao sovereign. This is useless information. The one in the Tomb of the Gods, with absolute strength, contains the heart of the Beast God, and can only be taken out unless the opponent is killed and slaughtered. Even if he is lucky, if he is not discovered by the other party, even if he is backed by the K organization, he can't make the other party's idea, and can only wait later. He has seen the ultimate combat power, and he has also heard King White mention it. The White King at the pinnacle is the ultimate combat power. Maybe after helping the White King recover the peak combat power, he can touch that special life. The only thing that can be snatched away now is the one in the hands of the Prince of the Maluo Kingdom. The Fourth Order Emperor is a bit tricky. It looks like it needs to be arranged. Isn't Da Xia planning to send troops to conquer the Demon Kingdom? It's an opportunity. The White King floated out, revealing his evil face, and said coldly, "An acquaintance is here." Jian Wushuang frowned, put away the treasure naturally, and turned his head to look in the direction of the door. Although he couldn't see anyone, he still felt that the person from the outside world had a deep karma with him. Hui Qing. Why is he here? Get up right now. Fortunately, feeling the breath, I went to Tianzi number 1, and didn't pay too much attention to it. Jian Wushuang breathed a sigh of relief. He thought that Hui Qing had discovered his identity and followed all the way here. Although now the strength has increased a lot, Hui Qing's strength is not weak. He has found that Hui Qing has reached the level of consummation. The ultimate way is at least the 8th level. Now that he is still tempering outside, it seems that he intends to break through after he is ready to complete the ultimate path. This group of inheritors went to the Tomb Mountain for 100 years, and then began to go down the mountain to experience and accept some tasks. He has also met many acquaintances over the years. I have also encountered Wanqing in the Tianbei continent, and the opponent's strength has also improved very quickly. At that time, I saw that he and Ji Chaiyang had the power to kill the emperor, and that Lingshuang Daojun now has broken through Chengdejin. Their batch of Dayan immortals had a lot of breakthrough emperors. As long as they broke through, they were the Third Order peak emperors, and each was the seedlings of the Fifth Order emperors. There is also Jian. He is also the emperor now, as the oldest Taoist. After he broke through, he directly stepped into the Fourth Order Taoist, and the moment he succeeded in joining the Tao, he took 4 steps. When I first met, I was still in the ruins of a sect, and I was a little envious of seeing the other side's charm. They all have a bright way to go. And he is like a mouse, afraid to see the sun. After taking his seat again, Jian Wushuang took out other treasures, which were all exotic flowers and fruits that increased his divine body. These treasures were enough to make his divine body more than 8,000 times. Over the years, he has raised his divine body by 2,000 times, and now it is 7,000 times. These treasures can further enhance his divine body 1,000 times. The distance to the basic divine body is 10,000 times faster. The beast god domain is up to 10,000, which is of little use to him unless the old man with horns can refine the origin of the beast god for him. He didn't trust that very much. The other party also mentioned that he could help him refine the origin of the beast god, but he rejected it. In fact, he still has a glimmer of hope in his heart. As long as he is separated from King Bai, he can still go to the Tomb Mountain, where is his home. He doesn't want to be in the temple of Chishan all his life. After breaking through the emperor at the Tomb Mountain, at least he is free to go to the outside world at any time. It's just that it's a little bit behind the restoration of King White's origin, and there is a divine body behind, which is even more troublesome. The treasure of the body does not need him to look for, but a body of the body still does not need to sacrifice many monks. The ultimate bloody. It is not so easy to refine. If it is other powerful people, it's okay, but it's too difficult for him to be the host of the Taoist monarch. Sitting cross-legged on the soft throne, quietly breaking through the divine body. Tianzi number 1 room. Huiqing, it's been a long time since I saw you. Prince Xia Mang said enthusiastically. He and Huiqing have known each other for hundreds of years. When he met for the first time, he had just broken through, and Huiqing came to challenge him in the realm of Taoist monarch. At that time, he thought that the other party's brain was broken and he was about to kill him. To save face, ask each other for advice. But what everyone didn't expect was that he was defeated, and it was a complete defeat. Lost to a Taoist monarch. Fortunately, not many people watched it at the beginning and no one knew about it after a strict order. Otherwise, Huiqing's name would have already shocked the entire territory. This is the inheritor. He later learned of Huiqing's identity from the ancestors, and he deliberately made friends, not entirely because of the background, but because Huiqing's own strength was enough to make anyone value it. Chapter 53-44. One Dao Sword Sovereign, Huiqing did not come alone. The little girl was still by her side. Du Shenyang wandered around these places all the year round, exquisitely, and dismissed the others at the moment, walked in front of the little girl, bent down and said softly, "Little girl, what's your name?" "My name is Jiang Shang." The little girl had bright eyes and did not have stage fright at all. The Crown Prince Xia Mang, the champion, untied a piece of gemstone from his waist and handed it over. Unexpectedly, Master Huiqing would still bring someone with him. He came in a hurry and didn't have any gifts on him. "This dragon soul jade that has been with me for a long time will be given to you." Huiqing knew the other party's character and didn't shy away, so Jiang Shang accepted it directly. Seeing the doting in Huiqing's eyes, champion Xia Mang moved slightly. Xiao Jiang Shang is just a mortal, and he does not have Huiqing's blood. Why is he so concerned about this mortal? Is it a special hobby? Seeing Huiqing's appearance, it's not very similar. Huiqing also saw the other party's doubts and first explained, "Forgot to introduce, Jiang Shang, my first disciple." Disciple? Teaching method. After hearing these words, champion Xia Mang leaked admiring eyes. With Huiqing's strength and potential, if he wants to recruit disciples, I am afraid that Dao Jun will rush to worship him. Unexpectedly, the first disciple actually accepted a mortal, and it seemed that the aptitude in the opponent's body was very average, and it didn't look like a monk's material. The two were seated, and Du Shenyang took Jiang Shang to the floor-to-ceiling windows to watch the graceful dance of the Fox family below. Tianzi number 7 room. Jian Wushuang was very curious about why Huiqing came here, but he is still not able to show up right now. If he shows his identity, he will probably go to the Tomb Mountain. At that time, it was discovered that there was still a person in him, and it was the White King. It would be difficult to explain by then. The oath was also issued, and now there is only one way to go. If you are curious, we can eavesdrop on it, so as not to come here for you and me. The White King said lightly, his figure floating out, but his eyes were looking at the fox girl below. Jian Wushuang snorted coldly and said with disdain, "Are you still afraid of a Taoist monarch? This is the realm, blood sacrifices are very common, so what if you are recognized?" After a quarter of an hour, the two of them stared at a miniature formation in front of them, eavesdropping on the conversation in room number 1 Tianzi. Master Hui Qing, this time my father insists on fighting the Mo Luo kingdom. I feel tired. Now Xia is not only facing the Mo Luo, but also some super tribes in the territory are ready to move. The Crown Prince Xia Mang, the champion, already has the posture of a superior person. He doesn't see right or wrong in everything, only the advantages and disadvantages. In his opinion, going to the Demon Kingdom is a way of hurting the enemy by 1,800. It is not as good as suppressing the rebellious tribes in Daxia, at least it can be crushed. As the First Order monk head, Hui Qing, according to his idea, is best to save the kingdom of Maluo first. Of course, when he came to the realm this time, he also came with a task, and that was to remove the 10 heads of the Emperor of Demon Dao. Regardless of weakness, as long as it is an emperor. He came to Daxia this time because he was close to Mo Luo and heard that there was a big battle. Moreover, the national teacher of the Great Xia Kingdom is not someone else, but the immeasurable Buddha. Both of them are inheritors. After the immeasurable Buddha came down the mountain, he has been in Daxia. He is the emperor, and the task he accepts before going down the mountain is naturally much more difficult than that of the Taoist. It may take millions of years of planning to succeed. Good. Champion Xia Mang saw Hui Qing's face and understood the other party's intention in his heart. Does the national teacher mean? Hui Qing nodded. The matter of the sword pointing to the devil has already begun in the Great Xia Ancestral Temple. It is not easy to persuade your majesty, you can only fight. Hearing the word Zongyao, Champion Xia Mang flashed a light in his eyes. I also understood a lot at a time. No wonder the ancestors said at that time, a hero for a time, a hero forever. It is estimated that he is his father. This battle for Maluo not only calms the border disturbances, but also stabilizes Xiao in Daxia. It will get the support of the sects from all over the world. This battle is profitable and harmless. As for the fallen strong, they are not considered strong. Or take the opportunity to weaken the strength of some sections. His father was appointed by his ancestors. Now Daxia needs to expand its strength. As for the internal stability, he needs a benevolent person. Now, he understands the intention of the ancestor. Whether he is a benevolent person or not, he must pretend to be a benevolent person. Otherwise, the position above is not his. Recalling who among the 9 brothers was the most kind, the champion Xia Mang showed his coolness. Second, 8 princes and 1 prince. Several of them have died, and the trials within the royal family are no less than some ancient sections. Besides, the people recruited by the ancient sect were all talented people, but the imperial family was indifferent. The few princes who can resist to the present, or become the emperor to divide the frontier important land. Either you can eat and wait for death like the 9th prince, Xia Mang Guanyu, that is, with a strong background, in order to be so leisurely. Now there are 2 princes in the imperial capital, whose powers are not ordinary, has full wings. Among them, the 2nd prince is a special case. The achievement of the emperor was 1,000,000 years earlier than him, and now he is the 3rd-tier peak, and may break through the 4th-order emperor at any time. Because of the benevolence on the surface, many people have been attracted, and the strong under them are like clouds, and there are many 4th-order emperors. The 2nd child has always been a thorn in his eyes and a nail in his flesh. Now that he understands the intentions of his ancestors, he feels a little uneasy. Although the position of the prince was determined early, it was impossible to say what to do if he was abandoned halfway, or if he fell. Master Hui Qing, please also give me some pointers. Champion Xia Mang respectfully held his fist to meet. Hui Qing is a bit embarrassed. He doesn't want to get involved in this kind of worldly dispute, but the other party's attitude is not easy for him to refuse, so he can only open up some things he knows. First of all, he was required to stop the foreign war. Daxia's intentions were not as one-sided as Xia Mang champion guessed, and there were still some problems. Daxia Jin might not win the battle against Momo Luo. If there was only one voice inside Daxia at the beginning, he would underestimate the enemy, and be criticized if he loses, and there would be no one behind him. This requires a voice of opposition. As long as the prince opposes this time, he will be the winner if he loses, and he won't lose money if he wins. Therefore he has to oppose it. After listening to Huiking's explanation, Champion Xia Meng understood instantly and bowed down again. In the courtyard, I don't know when a ring appeared, and the battle of life and death is being staged above it at this time. Disturbed by this thunder, Champion Xia Meng was very annoyed. Fork the two people from Citation and chop them out for me. Du Shenyang quickly stepped forward to comfort. Huiqing shook her head, reminding the prince to keep a low profile at this time. You're tuning in to the Passion Pages YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.